With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Ever witnessed someone so fast on track you doubt you could ever be on their level? The mission of Advanced Motorsports is to demonstrate the speed is achievable for everyone. With the expertise of some of the best sim drivers in North America, we are set to release free content on social media and comprehensive guides on our website. For those seeking the ultimate experience, our Advanced Motorsport Institute and personalized coaching sessions are the way to go. No matter your level of experience, we invite you to follow us on our social media to learn to be fast.
Ready to start another great race in the Precision Racing League. Green flag flies, we're underway. Side by side, door-to-door contact. Incredible action here in the PRL. And they come together. After all the fighting, it ends in tears.
Tonight, we battle for championships. Tonight, the Precision Racing League and its Truck Series and its Grand National Series both look to crown champions for 2024 Season 2. Welcome to RaceSpot's coverage. I'm Justin Prince alongside Derek Watson with Joshua Lee producing. It's time to see who's going to be able to come away with some hardware to end out the night from America's home for racing. Derek, it's been an exciting season throughout, but tonight we look to see who picks up the titles.
Boy, JP, isn't this fitting? A track here at Week 9 at Charlotte that's hosted all-star races and, the longest race of the NASCAR season in real life and many iRacing events gets to settle the battle here for the points in the Trucks and Grand Nationals. So let's take a look at those points. It is tight at the top of the board. Panzarella with a 10-point lead over Patrick Cowgill. Back further on back, not technically eliminated, JP, is Brett Adams and Austin Hunter, but they would have a big night ahead of them to make that happen.
Yeah, it could be interesting depending on what happens, especially up at the front of the field and with qualifying, where a lot of these points fly for the driver's side of things. The team side of things is also interesting as well, because Whataback Racing Final Drive has just a 16-point margin entering tonight over Team DDI for 44 ever. Whataback Racing Hunters is also in the conversation. Soy Boys Racing's come from behind to make it a huge fight, though.
Yeah, they really have. Andrew Sharp and the guys over there are fighting really hard to put that team up in notoriety as well. So it's been a great season. We're going to end here at Charlotte, and I'm excited, JP, to do it with you.
It's exciting to see what happens here tonight. Tonight's action brought to you in part by Advanced Sim Racing, owned and operated by passionate sim racers. Advanced Sim Racing designs and builds the sturdiest and most durable aluminum profile racing simulation cockpits built with the market today. All PRL members also get a 5% discount on ASR products using the Precision 5 coupon code. RaceBox also offers mid and high-end button boxes for sim racing enthusiasts, from the casual gamer up to the most meticulous driver. Competitively priced and carefully handcrafted, our button boxes are an enjoyable addition to any sim racing setup. Visit RaceBoxSimRacing.com and get a 5% discount. Use Precision 5's coupon code. Butt Kicker products add incredible immersion and realism to every game. For every nuance and joy, put yourself in the driver's seat. Moradness is a performing lifestyle brand motivated by motorsport and founded by professional race car driver Daniel Morad. For more information, visit moradness.com. Mr. Hedge iRacing Photography. Capture your finest, proudest, or simply worst moments from your hobby in up to 8K resolution. A great addition to any sim room. And by Advanced Motorsports. Get ready to learn to be fast with Advanced Motorsports. Follow them on their socials to become a better driver. Right now, drivers are getting themselves situated around the racetrack for tonight's festivities. Patrick Calgill is currently your top qualifier. He just set the tentative pole with a 29.755. There are lots of drivers not allowed to qualify tonight, however. The penalty box features many drivers. That includes those not allowed to qualify from last time out, Mike Richter, Graham Wildman. Those including from outstanding penalties, Jordan Miller. Those not allowed to qualify for the next two races from caution points, including Will Jennings and Kyle Dewey. And if those who feature suspensions, Austin and Elliott are in that category. So, it should be an interesting one, especially with what's expected for these trucks. A lot of drivers seeing them trend loose. And it looks like Calgill looking geared up at the front at the very least. Panzarella, for reference, qualified 6th.
Yeah, Panzarella right now is on team anybody. Anybody but Calgill is where Panzarella has to be sitting. But I think most trucks are done as we look at our qualifying time. So we got right now one lap from Brandon Chatley out on the board, I believe. He's right at finishing his second lap. But right now, if all stands still, Calgill's already cut in 2 points into that 10-point lead.
Qualifying just about wrapped up on the racetrack here for today. 16 drivers allowed to take times for tonight. It looks like at least one will have some discussions post-race. We'll see what happens here for said race now, though, because Calgill is ready to bring them to the green. Let's see the qualifying. Buddy Calvert alongside 8/1000th in the pole. His teammate, Phil Beaver, is in the next row with Andrew Sharp looking very sharp, like a Sharpie. Stephen Kirby and Brendan Chatley, your top 6. 6th, Panzarella will start in 7th, then it's Austin Hunter in 8th. Matthew Alica 9th, rounding your top 10, Edward Peltz. Then it's Stacy Hunter and Mike Toomer Jr. inside the top 12. Nicholas Hunter will start on the next page. He's still in the throwback alongside Dylan Smith. Then it's Tanner Johnson and Rodrigo Morales, your last driver to take times. Included in tonight's field as well, who did not set times due to penalties or choosing not to qualify, includes Brett Adams, Kyle Dewey, Mike Richter, Jake Mackey, Graham Wildman, Ryan Newman, Will Jennings, and Zach Williams. Mark Elliott has left the facility due to the suspension. So here's the track conditions, pretty much on the cool side tonight. Derek, your keys to win.
Well, so far we know from this track this week and all the officials we watched and officials you broadcast that this truck trends loose, especially in turns 3 and 4. So about managing that, managing getting the car under you, getting the tires warmed up, and being aggressive when necessary. But I think the keys to win is different depending upon who you are, JP. If you're Zach Panzarella, pardon me, the key to victory is just to stay on the track and score points, I think.
So we've seen Calgill be very good on the mile and a half this season. What's it going to take for anyone else to try and upset that? Better yet, who do you think would that be? Who will be able to pass the 31?
Oh, listen, Marty Calvert was fastest in practice. He's going to start outside in P2. He's a great contender. Andrew Sharp's had a great week. He won the 24 Hours of Nürburgring over the past weekend with Todd Ross at Esports. So has had great improvements in this season in the oval side. Obviously, Panzarella's shown great skills. And there's some people in the back who've had moments of brilliance. Mike Toomer's had some moments here. Brett Adams, last week was very, very much in contention. So I think this is really a wide open race. But for Panzarella specifically, stay on track. Don't get caught up in anything. And you might be okay even if you don't win this race.
Just about in position and ready to go for tonight's festivities here from iRacing's virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ken Calgio in control once they get things fully rolling here on the racetrack. Overall, though, it's been an exciting season yet again to touch upon. It's going to be interesting to see, can Panzarella pull it off? He needs some luck, as we touched upon, for that to happen.
Yeah, he's going to need a little bit of luck. This track has been known to collect some drivers in some early wrecks. He has to avoid that. He has been involved in many, many official races over the past 2 days, trying different strategies, burning the tires and going for it, saving the tires and laying back, and just everywhere in between trying to see what he could learn out of this. So he's prepared. My only concern, Justin, honestly, is he over-prepared for this race?
Let's find out what everyone's got here from Charlotte. It's the season finale for the PRL and its truck series here on RaceSpot. It's Calgill, it's Calvert, both on the front row. Pace truck is off. 40 minutes on the clock. It's time to go racing. Green flag is out. We're underway from America's home for racing. Oh, and here we go. Sharp gets loose into the wall, and one of our talking points comes in over the tunnel. It's the 24 in the wall. Green flag still out, as up front, Calgill holding off Calvert.
Yeah, we've heard multiple stories this week about how this car can get loose in 3 and 4, how, especially when warming the tires up, it's just not there. It's hard to hold on to, and Andrew Sharp just found out. Saved the truck, though. Did a really great job of keeping it straight and end of the wall, and we will stay green here as Calgill comes around again.
Yeah, here's a look at the replay. Right there. Right, that's where the tunnel is.
It's that small transition of pavement or surface, whatever you want to call it, just upsets that truck a little bit. And so now Andrew Sharp will be hoping for an early yellow so he can get that truck fixed and see what kind of damage he has.
So right now, Panzarella in control of the points lead in theory by a slimmer margin of about 4 points. Remember that 10-point difference. Calgill would have the tiebreaker in any situation. And to touch upon again, a must-win scenario for a driver that's very much been knocked out fast on the bottom of the halves. Panzarella still in the 6th position in the very early going, just 2 minutes down.
Well, remember, technically right now, Calgill's +3 to the start of the race. He's had the pole, for that's 2 points. He's led a lap. That is another point. So he's now technically within 7 points of Panzarella as they run right now. That's not counting the running order. That does change some things as well. But just keep in mind that the point gap is decreasing every time Patrick Calgill picks up a bonus here in this race.
Those bonus points absolutely stack up over time, though. It's going to be interesting where things stack up by the end of tonight in terms of the calculations. But right now, it's pretty clear. Don't burn up the stuff if you're up front, seems to be the mainstay. Most drivers keep it in very calm single file. After all, it is a very bottom dominant track here.
Yeah, very bottom dominant, very, not single groove. You can definitely pass on the outside, but the preferred groove is definitely on the bottom. Watch Patrick Here, with that force feedback you see in that wheel and how much it's moving around, coming down the back straight into turn 3. Let's see how much he turns the wheel here. It's a lot of fighting there. And now he's going to come through a little bit lower than Calvert. You see from behind, Calvert's maybe half a car up. And they're going to come back through this here again. I can't imagine the nerves right now if you're Patrick Calgill, though, JP, because there's nothing you can do. You're doing the best thing you can do. You're leading. You took the pole. You've led a lap. You're trying to lead the most laps. But you know that really, this is out of your hands. If Panzarella gets a good run and catches the field, there's nothing you can do.
For the race lead, Calvert wants clean air. A little bit tight, though. Here we washed up. Able to keep it off for contact, though, but does have the preferred groove and some side draftability and drafting help from Kirby, as well as a teammate in Beaver. Marty Calvert looking to get the job done quickly. Able to get the edge for the back straightaway, but not clear yet.
And this is great news for Panzarella, because if you can keep Calgill from leading a couple laps here, then maybe he won't get the most laps led bonus, and it's just an extra bonus you're not worried about. But look at how tight Calvert is pushing Calgill up the track. I don't think it's on purpose. It's just how these trucks race side by side, but it is close every time through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, right now Panzarella doing the job he needs to do, and right now Calvert doing the job he wants to do. Go back and forth for the race lead. Still can't get it done fully yet. Right now, Calgill with the ability to push down. This, in theory, especially with them both missing even the first and second grooves here, could be a trouble spot for their tires.
I was going to bring the same thing up. Yeah, they're both killing these tires right now, and that could be a problem later in this run. The thing I was noticing as well, though, Calvert had to have been on the radio in their team Discord or whatever they have, begging, those guys to move down. I mean, obviously Kirby's not a teammate, but the truck behind is, and Philip Beaver begging him to move down and help with the draft, and now they kind of have. But you're right, these guys are killing their equipment, and if this stays green, we will see the effects of that, and I think in about 10 laps or so. And he's up against the wall again.
Yeah, near contact between the both of them, in fact, as well. Able to keep it going, just past 5 minutes on the clock, estimated 69 laps to go. As Calvert's clear, he slides it up and parks it, but Calgill on the cross.
Yeah, Calgill's going to try the cross here. Calvert was the leader last time by at the board, and here now Calgill's going to get the inside lane. Let's see if he pushes up.
Looks like Calgill more stick in the corner, but not clear. And it's pretty clear that Kirby's choosing whatever line pulls him forward. He's still preferring to work with Calvert, if anything.
Yeah, so you got 3 teams right here in this battle. You got Final Drive up here with Calgill in the front. You have RBM right here with Kirby. And then you have Philmar right there in front of us. So you have 3 teams. There's no team allegiance here. So they're just all racing for what they can get out of this and see what they can make happen.
Calvert this time just about getting himself the edge, will get the race lead at the stripe this time by. So put a point into the category for the 16 truck. 2 laps already led on the night. Here comes Kirby. He's not afraid to keep the foot on the throttle, crossing up for second as now to the lead full is Calvert.
Yeah, Calgill tried to block Kirby there on the move up, and I think ended up maybe shooting himself in the foot here because he's now going to get past on the inside possibly. But Kirby got a little loose there through 3 and 4, and I think Calgill's going to be okay for the moment. But Marty Calvert, as I said, led practice, was the fastest truck in practice, and now we're seeing why, because he looks comfortable up in the lead.
Yeah, we'll find out how things go. The rear end's going to be critical on the tires, you'd have to think. And already your top 4 have ran away with their trucks by upwards of near a second to the rest of the field. Panzarella essentially leading pack number 2.
Well, my concern for the front 2, both Calvert and Calvert.
Oh, hold on. Speaking of which, Calvert just had a problem down the front straightaway. He scrubbed the wall, and he's lost the lead from it.
Yeah, that's a big moment right there. That's going to put Calgill back up in front. Put Calvert, those guys are so, I got to get different names for them, back to 3rd. But I was going to say my concern for both of them, and maybe we saw it a little bit from Calvert, is how much tire did they burn up in that side-by-side racing? Are they going to be as fresh in a few laps as those drivers 5th on back? We'll find out here. But again, through the front straight again, and Calgill put another one on the board, JP. He leads another lap.
It's looking great for Calgill in terms of led laps here. Calvert, not so much after the wall scrape, but it looks like no damage. He still has a teammate behind. Here's what we're referring to. Just kept it in the wall, little scrub, just glued to it. And it's one of those grabber tracks.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. It feels like in iRacing, JP, there's two types of walls. I call them huggers and bouncers. Some walls you hit, it really just kind of sucks you in and hugs you and holds on to you. Other walls you hit it, and you just sort of bounce off like a pinball. At Charlotte here is more of a hugger track, is how I refer to it. It just really holds on to you, and that can be a positive. It keeps you out of the wreck. But the negative to that is it really kills any speed you have and can make you fall down the leaderboard pretty quickly.
But not too bad. Still able to keep the track position. Right now, for those curious, single file for much of the field at the moment. Amongst those who did not qualify, Graham Wildman's up 5 positions as well. You have Morales up 1, -7 for Pelt so far. Amongst those in the mid-pack. There's Panzarello on screen though. He's currently still trying to hold off a couple Whataback machines, Charlie and Hunter, as it looks like Beaver is saying, go on by. Which side do you want to go, as he started to fall off?
Well, this is the challenge you have as a driver right now. Everyone knows who's in the points battle for the finale. There's no secret this is a true driver race. And you want to race hard and you want to be competitive, but you also don't want to ever think you're the guy who affected the race in a negative manner by holding someone up or blocking or whatever that case may be. So they're going to let Panzarella by, and that's good news for Zach and bad news for Patrick Cowgill.
I was going to say, there's always a flip side to that, where you always wonder, hey, I want you to battle him. Give me a chance.
Yeah, Cowgill's upset.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say upset, but I mean, that's the flip of the coin, right? There's a good and a bad in some situations in that. Oh, we've had some wall scrapes you just seen in the heart of the field. That was a scrape, I believe, from one of the hunters, if not Stacy, Tanner Johnson, clearing Dylan Smith.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was the 53 or if that was Mike Toomer we saw the smoke come from. It was one of the two, but we got there at the last second to see it, so I'm not sure. But here's a battle in the back of the field. That's Nicholas Hunter, that throwback singular wireless machine. There's a 53, but that's not Stacey Hunter. That's back there behind him. And so you see Mike Toomer's back there. So a great battle happening all across the track. There's lots of things going on. We're kind of focused on Cowgill and Panzarella because of the points battle, but lots of solid racing happening everywhere across this track.
Extremely.
That's Tanner Johnson, by the way, on the 53. I got the name wrong.
Yes. Johnson's doing it well on the high side, using a lot of the second groove. Some side-by-side as well for the 15 spot. 3 wide. They're going 3 wide for all the spots. It seems contact for Wildman. He bounces off of Morales, saves it. Morales hits the wall. The 55 avoids damage. Morales, not so much.
That is crazy. The fact that he just got 3 wide, made contact, and saved that truck in the trial or the dog leg or whatever you want to call it, that is insane. That we could rack that up 100 more times in a row, JP, tonight, and maybe not see that happen again.
And that's also put Wildman up for grabs by his teammate and Andrew Sharp. Here comes Sharp trying to recover. This is 3 wide, an interesting call, but Wildman trying to give space to 1. Morales got loose from the high side.
There's no way that should be 3 cars still going forward into turn 1. Like any other time you rack that up, you're going to have someone in the wall, someone spun around, someone upset. I cannot believe they saved that. I'm impressed. Wow.
Mistake green though, so far everyone's held it together solidly. We're on lap 24. The run can go up to about lap 49 at the top end. And right now Cowgill is trying to run. It's very difficult to run here, but it is a more challenging track, I was going to say, compared to say Texas to break away.
Yeah, there's many tracks you can compare this to. You know, Texas comes to mind. You know, old Atlanta, even new Atlanta to a certain point comes to mind. And for me, the most challenging point of this track is right here. It's this dog leg, this tri-oval that you have right here. For some reason, as a driver, it feels super narrow inside the vehicle. It's not. We just saw them go 3 wide. Now, they made contact, but inside the car, JP, it feels like there's no space for 3 wide through that little space right there. So we're seeing Cowgill come around here. You see he's having a hard time running to an extent, but he's still leading, but getting run down again by Stephen Kirby is Patrick Cowgill. And there goes now Kirby's going to see if he can make a run at it.
Kirby's found something different with the diamond line he tried to start with earlier on. This time trying to stick it high side. Calgill trying to keep it planted towards the blue line. Remember, before the tire wear started coming to play with the tire models, this was a track that trended to go high side. It seems as though some people are starting to figure out that second and third line now, especially this iRacing season with the setup model, to be able to try and find grip and search around here.
Well, another reason you want to search around is, listen, that bottom lane may be the preferred line, but the more input you typically put into your wheel in any vehicle, you're going to help burn up those tires a little bit faster. So if you could run middle groove, if you could run high groove, you might put less input in and save some tires here in the run. But look at that story right there, P4. Look at that bright sky blue car with the puppy on it. That's the guy with the points lead. Is having a nice, safe, solid day. Nothing too exciting, but it's climbing his way through the field and looking for P3.
Side by side for the race lead. Kirby's found a way to get alongside for the point. He was able to do so off of turn 2. New race leader up front is Stephen Kirby for now. You see that side by side at the corner of your screen as Calgill tries to defend while third spot stays single file.
There you go. That's the battle we're facing right now here. This is Calvert, Panzarella, and Brandon Chatley, 3, 4, 5 with Austin Hunter in 6 right behind him here. And I think Panzarella's happy just being in line here, JP. Getting that little sniff of draft you can get at Charlotte. And then every time that Kirby and Calgill go side by side, they're gaining on them. As I said that, then Calvert goes way wide and kills my whole point.
It's back single file for the race leader, still keeping an eye on the championship fight because Panzarella, he's looking to fight his way to the top 3. Calvert way high, able to avoid the wall, but it's pretty clear Panzarella better tires than Calvert at this point.
Yeah, remember, Calvert was involved in that side-by-side battle with Calgill earlier where we thought they were killing tires by kind of rubbing and running high side to top side when Calvert and Calgill were doing that. So I would think Panzarella has slightly better tires, but we are now getting deep into this race with no yellow. No one has fresh tires at this point, basically.
Your battle for the race lead, top screen, bottom screen, is your battle going on for the third spot, your championship front runners. Right now, Kirby is the quicker of the two up front. He's gathering momentum back. Panzarella, right now, slightly quicker for the battle for third, but Calvert using the high side as defense.
Right now, inside Panzarella's truck, there's either one of two things, JP. There's a driver who's calm and cool and collected and breathing easy and knows he's done everything he can do and is right there in the spot to win. Or there's a driver who's literally out of his mind, trying his best to get to the front, trying his best to find any groove he can, trying his best to get these trucks to move out of his way. That first idea is where you want to be. That second idea can lead to some dangerous outcomes.
Oh, and look at that, though. Some of those starting to get the high side really rolling are coming into play. Brennan Chatley nearly squished into the wall, getting the run on Panzarella. And now you have to play this into a factor, too, with all the speed in 1 and 2 top side. Somebody's going to just peel you off the wall and say, I want to make the pass.
Yeah, someone's trying. I mean, Calvert's doing a great job up top through all the corners at the moment, kind of keeping Panzarella at bay. And you see this battle here happen. Look at Calvert all the way up against the wall now. Like almost now, we're running like any kind of track with a high lean into it, like a Kyle Larson line, if you will, is where we're at.
That's a good way to put it. Why not avoid the bump, or at least avoid a certain part of the bump? Get solid from there in terms of the run. Here's the run, though, again off the corner for the third spot. Still nothing fully doing yet. Panzarella might just need to pull a slider in to get this done at this rate.
Yeah, he might, or he needs to back out of it. One of the two. He can't continue the side-by-side battle. It's going to kill the tires. He needs to make the pass or back out of it and live to fight another. Yellow's out. This is going to change everything.
First caution, it's Ryan Newman in the infield from the top 22. It was after contact with Will Jennings to bring us under yellow for the first time here tonight.
Wow. That's going to change a lot of strategies here. Lots of things can happen here in this moment. So Calgill is going to find us around to the pace car and lead us around here. And then we'll get it all lined up. But let's take a look at the replay. You said it was going to be Newman and Jennings. Up on the wall is, oh man,
Both of them.
Both of them. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, that was an explosion of a truck for the damage model. Ryan Newman's 4-wide racing machine. Well, Jennings immediately towing, and obviously that was on the racing surface. Here's a little look from the 420.
Kind of crazy. It's almost like you're right. They both got loose because it's like Newman could have had it cleared had he not got loose. Could have went right around the outside and possibly even avoided the yellow. But instead, they make contact. Let's watch it one more time from on board with Newman. This will be Jennings up ahead of him. Jennings going to smack the wall right about there. Oh, Newman hit the wall first. I apologize. Okay, I see it now. You're right. Newman hit the wall as well. And then, oh man, that's... Oof.
Big Fast Racing, as well as 4-wide racing meeting for the caution. They're both already in the pit lane for mandatory repairs. There is a fast repair not available in this series, so they are likely done for the night. This will likely be your money stop here, with us just before halfway and with us within the fuel window.
Watching all the trucks on pit road here. Everybody's lift up the right side, put tires on. Everybody's going to start to lift up the left side and put this on no 2-tire stops as far as the eye can see. And here they all come. Cowgill, Kirby, Calvert, Panzarella, Hunter. They're top 5, I believe.
Good execution to the pit lane. No speeding penalties, it looks like, either. So Cowgill still staying in whatever position he needs to be doing to try and contend for this championship. Panzarella starting in 4th, though. That's going to make things even more difficult for him right now. Even with all the bonus points you add up, it's still going to be a toss-up in terms of how this goes, possibly.
Yeah, right now what Cowgill's hoping for is to get a great start, and then for that traffic to kind of jumble up, and for Panzarella not to get a great start. Well, JP, you know, obviously we're at Charlotte. It's really, I mean, not even the beginning, the very, 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 very early beginnings of Memorial Day weekend here in the U.S., or the endings of the holiday weekends up in Canada. And lots of drivers, if you look through the field here, have adopted the patriotic feel of the paint schemes here in the PRL. It's nice to see when the drivers really get in the spirit and adopt the paint schemes and the theme of a weekend.
Yeah, you have some that like, you know what, I feel like changing up. Let's go on to Trading Paints and find a new paint scheme for this week. You have others that have absolutely followed through in that theme, like Dylan Smith in the 92 truck. He's got a customized red, white, and blue truck for that scheme tonight. So a couple drivers are amongst those who saying, let's go full patriotic mode. After all, this is a race weekend in real life where patrioticness comes into mind.
Well, and then you have drivers who are superstitious, who don't want to change paint schemes, and that includes both Cowgill and Panzarella. Neither one wants to touch their paint scheme. They believe that they have found a paint scheme that works for them, that has led them to some success, some wins, and into this moment, and they don't want to change. So there's both going on across the track right now, and it's kind of interesting to see how superstitious a race car driver can be. Do you have any... I've never asked this of you before, believe it or not. Do you have any kind of like pre-race habits or superstitions?
That's an interesting question. I wouldn't say anything in pre-race, but I do have superstitions on depending on how things go. There's certain trends that can pop up. For example, like if you have any doubts on starting the race, usually that ends up with you ending up in an incident, and that usually has been the case 95% of the time. So I guess that counts as pre-race.
That's fair. Yeah, I would go a step further with that and typically say, especially in road endurance racing, if you have that doubt, there's the pit road option. I know it doesn't sound sexy, doesn't sound fun, but it's safer. I don't know that I have any pre-race superstitions. I typically have music on to start the race, like just something very light in the background. This will sound weird. Usually it's Billy Joel, believe it or not. Just let some Billy Joel play for a little bit until the green flag falls, but I don't know.
Piano Man?
Oh, no. Yes, but no. That's the easy one. But like New York State of Mind, Big Shots, Still Rock and Roll to Me. There are many better Billy Joel songs than Piano Man.
I mean, it's the one people know, though.
Oh, I agree. No, I agree. It's the easy hits. I agree. It's like Don't Stop Believing for Journey. There are way better Journey songs. Just nobody knows about them.
You know what Calgill knows? To get to first gear for this restart. Clock already ticking down pretty quickly, already under 17 minutes to go. Calgill with the lead, Kirby, Calvert, and Panzarella, your top 4. In our news, if you're in a Chevy, you're likely in the top 4 right now. If you're in a Ford, you're currently in the fringes of the top 10. If you're a Toyota, you need to find a way to go places. Restart, all set to go. Green, green, green. Calgill, good launch. Everybody else just stares blankly. Nicely done.
Barely gonna. Okay, sorry.
Panzarella didn't get the start he needed to get, though.
No, he is currently being kind of choo-choo trained. He got high side, and a bunch of drivers went low at first, although that's now kind of starting to circle around here. But he's got Austin Hunter, part of that Whataback Racing team. The 27 down below him. You see drivers on back here, so Panzarella needs to stay calm and comfortable and let things work itself out. But right now, with about 15, 16 minutes to go, he's in a good spot.
And no major bobbles this time. One trend here at the racetrack. After rubber's planted, usually the trucks are a bit more stable for the restarts. We're seeing that already. Battle for third. Calvert yet again on defense. Kirby still looking for the lead. There's third. Calvert already high side, and it looks like he'll let Panzarella slide, but not fully. Here's the battle for the lead. Inside again for Kirby.
Panzarella not clear. Panzarella also providing a small smidge of the help to Kirby in that draft. See if he can push Kirby up to the lead and get Calgill out of the lead. But right now, when they're running 1 and 3 or 2 and 3, obviously this is Panzarella's point title.
Panzarella going for the shove, wanting Kirby out of in front. Try and peel the 31 for the point, setting up the battle. Here's a look from Panzarella as he watches the side-by-side in front. Kirby's been red hot as of late. He looks to keep the streak going. Panzarella trying to help him get it going.
Oh, a little bit of bump there. Not something you commonly see at Charlotte, but Panzarella with a slight bump. That could have gone horribly, especially coming down into turn 1. But there it is, small bump draft. That puts Kirby clear of Calgill, and at least for the moment up in the lead. But here comes Panzarella.
Last week's race winner up to the front. Now Panzarella, the championship leader. Calgill with the squeeze from the high side. Right now, regardless of how this looks, Panzarella looking solid. Needs to keep it clean in this fight with his rival.
Here we go. Panzarella's looking all around, maybe being a little too aggressive for the spot he's in, JP. Doesn't need the win, doesn't need the pass, needs to be on track, but getting a little aggressive here.
Why not? With 14 minutes to go, try and battle for the lead. Calgill has a tiebreaker if necessary with the most wins. Kirby slides up now. Now feeds draft to Calgill. Feeds it now to Panzarella. No! Panzarella inside for the race lead.
Here we come, turn 1. They're going to dig down deep on the bottom and try to make it stick, but I think right now that draft will equalize or make the top side a priority right now, and Panzarella's going to out by himself.
Calgill with the better pull with the draft. Still good fight back for the 12. He burns stuff up for the inside. Lap traffic is ahead though. Zachary Williams is in front of the leaders. 4 drivers trying to battle. 1 truck choosing middle in front of them.
There we go. Now Kirby's got himself clear. Now we're back to being Calgill and Panzarella side by side. That's what Kirby wants. The more this happens, Kirby could pull away here if he stops snaking the line here. We got our first bit of lap traffic up ahead here. They'll clear it pretty easily. But right now, Kirby needs to stop snaking, stop worrying about the draft, and let these guys fight and just pull away with the lead.
Under 13 minutes on the clock. Right now, 26 laps to go is the estimate. Here's that lap traffic. It looks like Williams bobbling high side. This could be a problem for the side-by-side. Calgill gets boxed in, tries not to lift, bumps the lap truck. What a save by Williams. Calgill forces it 3 wide as the 5 goes up to the wall.
My goodness, the 3 wide. They're getting the lap truck clear back to 2 wide here. Great job by Calgill with a little patience. Did a great job getting that truck out of the way and keeping himself in contention. He could have quickly have fallen back there had that gone worse. But now that's going to bring Marty Calvert back in the picture. Calvert currently on the bottom as well. And we'll see how he affects this race. Oh, there's contact in the back here. Sorry. Nope, they're all clean. I thought I saw a wreck happening.
They're still battling and making contact. You see with Alaka, we stay green though. Still for the front second spot. Cowgill still gives a pinch. Panzarella tries to get the run now, clipping a bit of the grass, gets loose.
What I don't understand, JP, is Stephen Kirby, and I'm not being critical as it sounds, but I would think with Panzarella and Cowgill racing this hard side by side, I would think Stephen Kirby could pull away and have a bigger gap than he does.
I would think so too, but that draft does help an extra couple tenths per lap. Right now, that's making it very difficult. Kirby sliding up. Here's a look at Cowgill, intently looking to hold on to second.
Man, JP, as I watch that webcam for Patrick Cowgill, I got to be honest with you, that force feedback looks very strong. I wonder if Cowgill would have an easier time in that truck if he would turn down that force feedback. It almost looks like the force feedback is driving the truck and not Patrick Cowgill.
That's an interesting point. A lot of drivers, depending on preference, like to feel the track. Others, they'll make the argument, usually in the pro side, that let's get a $2,000 wheel. I'm putting 1% force feedback on it.
Well, there's definitely a medium point. I agree with you 100%. There has to be some force feedback. But there does become a point when the feedback gets so strong that it sort of snaps your wheel around. And now the snapping of the wheel is driving the car and not so much the driver.
I'm kind of the devil's advocate on that, as you see side by side of the field. I was about to say, at 25% it feels off on, say, a straw and direct drive. 33% is almost to where it whipsaws your hand, especially at 50. It's about that medium where you're able to drive it, but you still feel the force. It will still hurt your hands with the force, but it's still enough to be able to drive it and not have the truck control you.
Oh, for sure. It's totally like a Goldilocks and the Three Bears kind of problem, right? You got to find the one that's just right to make you happy as a driver. But I don't know. As I watch that, we'll see what happens. But here's Mike Toomer. He's back in the battle against Kyle Dewey. I think I see on the screen there. There's a Whataback truck in there. Lots of drivers right here in this tight battle. So although we're looking mostly at the front of this battle because of the points title, look at this herd. Look at this hive. Look at this mess right here.
If there's any caution, it likely would come from this group right now with how they're running. 7 hard side drafting still going on from Alaka. You also have Toomer Jr. trying to push Mike Richter around the racetrack. You have Dewey that's already gone 3 wide once or twice here. And they have lap traffic they've already got around. And Dylan Smith having problems in front. Everybody's having all sorts of hornet's nest moments here with the timing pylon, if you've noticed.
Yeah, lots of issues in the timing pylon, lots of issues everywhere on this track. And Mike Toomer riding up against that wall, taking what we call the Kyle Larson line and trying to see if he can make up some ground here and trying to see who he can catch and win. And there he goes to the bottom now. He's going to try to make a pass.
Yeah, right now, Toomer Jr., he is having one of his better runs right now. Still looking for 12. Richter still looking for a way to make the Richter scale move a little bit from the high side. He was the driver who hit the wall, we can confirm earlier. 3 wide, he hits the lap truck. Dewey bounces off of him. What a save by Richter. He avoids significant damage or any damage. Dewey, if anything, might have got the worst of it.
Now, I don't think Richter hit anything other than Dewey. No wall contact, nothing like that. But, they're 3 wide again. As Kyle Dewey almost got clobbered by a truck moving up of no fault of Dewey's whatsoever. But, man, this is crazy back here. I believe this is what we would call a hot mess.
You know what's starting to heat up on what is a cooler night, at least? Cowgill and Cantarella again. We've had Kirby break away a bit now to 4/10. He nearly spun it from the lead a couple laps ago. Has broken away 4/10 back again since. Panzarella squishing Cowgill up the track into the wall.
Man, I got to tell you, JP, if I was a spotter or a crew chief for Panzarella right now, I would be preaching in his ear, please back up, please back off. This is a big picture day. You want to win your first PRL title. You don't need to be leaning on people. You don't need to be bumping people. You don't need to be this way. Fall back behind Cowgill. You'll still win the points title. Oh my gosh, this is nerve-wracking to see him racing like this.
Counterpoint. You don't want to leave any doubt. Already Panzarella, another send, and now Calvert's getting tight. You know who's in the top 5 in all this? Barney. It's Austin Hunter looking for 4th.
Yeah, Austin way outside in the look for the points battle. Would need a perfect night, and honestly would need Calgill and Panzarella both to probably wreck out to have any shot at it. But definitely wants to see what he can make of this as well. So if he can take over top 3 in the points, and now Austin Hunter providing a small bit of draft to Panzarella, and we'll see if that helps at all. Oh, this is so tight, so close, so tense. Whew.
Point of return coming up this next few minutes or so here. In our words, next flag could end the race from about a minute's time from now. Panzarella nearly clear of Calgill. He goes to clear himself. It looks like he will get the space. Hunter now looking to try and rip away the 3rd spot.
I thought for a moment out of that corner they were going to be 3 wide with Hunter on the bottom, but everyone sort of backed out of it and thought better. But I'm not sure they're done here because Austin Hunter's now all over the back end of Panzarella here and wants to make this pass, and he should. You don't need to back out of it just because these guys are the points title winners. Just don't do anything stupid at the same time.
6 minutes to go. Right now it appears Panzarella is now in the full driver's seat, especially with Hunter up to 3rd. Despite all the bonus points so far for Calgill tonight, the trend is now set for Panzarella to be championship elect if it stays green. He's got 5 3/4 of a minute though to hope it stays green and hope there's no mistakes. Austin Hunter, he's still focused on trying to help push for the lead. Kirby still up by 7/10.
Yeah, in this case, what's best for Austin Hunter is to push Panzarella, get them back up to Stephen Kirby, and then worry about racing, I would think, because right now for Austin Hunter, it's all about winning, but never mind, he goes high.
Well, Panzarella seems to be not so much focused on that. He just defended and said, here, have the high side. Remember, though, Austin Hunter was a part of that group of drivers that included Beaver, that had a lot of give and take to Panzarella, knowing the championship stakes. It looks like Zach Panzarella is returning the favor.
Yeah, Panzarella maybe is now starting after passing Calgill to understand where he is and what spot he's in, and no need to be super aggressive. But right now, just outside of 1 second, just outside of the drafting number is where these trucks are. But there's the pass. It's Hunter to 2nd, Panzarella to 3rd.
Galbert now slides in front of Calgill as well for 4th, so doesn't matter in terms of the point spread. Now it's a true test. 9 laps to gain 9/10. Last time by, 31.4 for Hunter, 31.4 for Kirby. Kirby's all over the racetrack, though. He just nearly clocked the wall on his own.
Yeah, so Kirby right now has got to keep it safe here. Part of RBM, trying to close out a pretty solid season for them. And with a back-to-back wins, that'd be a great way to close out your truck season, I would think. By the way, we should mention signups are open for next season, JP. If you think this looks fun, if you want JP or I to talk about you next season, head over to PrecisionRacingLeague.com and you can sign up. And you could be in this race in Season 3, and we can be talking about you.
And it could be an interesting championship fight depending on what happens. We'll see. Again, signups are open, PrecisionRacingLeague.com to learn more. Under 4 minutes to go, past the point of no return. And it is a 1/10 of a second quicker right now for Hunter compared to Kirby. 7 laps to go. He needs to gain about 8/10. He did not pick up the pace he needed this past time by.
Each time he gets a little closer to that, draft will suck him in a little bit more and help him get there. But that time he touched the blue line and sort of lost a little bit of the grip, I think. But that draft will help him. Austin Hunter's best run so far this season I can think of is when he pushed his brother to the victory at Talladega when Austin finished 2nd.
Yeah, he's going to be happy to win a back camp to be 2nd yet again at least. He's had one of his best runs in years this campaign alone. Again, the difference right now sees Panzarella as the championship leader with under 3 minutes to go. It seems no matter what here, he seems in line to win the title. He is going to be ecstatic, to say the very least. First career PRL wins this season, nearly on the way to his first title.
And really has just proven the point all season long about consistency. He's not had that, he's had a couple wins, but it's been consistency. It's been about being there every week. Patrick Calgill has had some up and down runs. He's had some wins, but unfortunately also had a couple really bad results. And that's going to be the difference between these two drivers, is just that consistency.
Coming at 2 minutes to go. Right now, 7:10 still the gap. Go ahead.
Now, going to say right now, if you're Panzarella, I'm hoping you're starting to breathe, kind of letting some air out, kind of going, okay, I got this. Let me back it up a little bit. Let's not be aggressive. You know, I'm in third, Cal Gilson fifth. You know, breathe easy here. 2 minutes left until you're the champion.
2.5 laps to go for the back straightaway. Panzarella has now gone full. Make sure the truck doesn't go anything offset time mode. Austin Hunter is in full push mode, still for the race lead. 2 laps to go for the Truck Series this campaign.
And Hunter has closed that gap. We can move up front for a second. Look at that. It's down to less than half of a second, JP. These may not be enough time in 2 laps here, but Austin Hunter's going to make a run at it on Stephen Kirby here because that gap is closing lap by lap here to come down the back straight. See Hunter's back there in the drafting line. Going to try to make it happen, but not enough closure this lap, I don't think.
Cal Gills lost ground in the end to close out the run here. Now 2 estimated laps to go as we're now at about a minute to go on the clock. So an extra lap to work with here. Austin Hunter needs to gain 2/3 this lap to have a shot for the white flag lap.
Well, at the beginning of the lap, he had it close up a little bit. He was down to less than 0.4 of a second. Now he's back above it here. And is going to try to make the run again to stay consistent. You're closing the gap. Don't be, extreme. Don't go over the top here. But look at Kirby right almost the bottom of the track, having a great line. Tracks it out up against the wall. Hunter may have tapped the wall there.
White flag is out. Final time around here from Charlotte this season. And Zach Panzarella looks to close it out solid. He picked up his first career PRL victories earlier in the campaign. He was able to pick up momentum all throughout the campaign, find consistency in the trucks. To the checker flag this time, Stephen Kirby will get his second win in a row. He'll do it here in Charlotte, but it's Zach Panzarella who not only gets into victory lane at PRL, he gets himself a championship in the same run of breaking through the victory lane.
What a run by Kirby. Before we go talk to Panzarella, let's acknowledge Stephen Kirby. Back-to-back wins to close the season. That is momentum building for Season 3.
Stephen Kirby picks up his second straight win for RBM. Well, Zach Panzarella just, I think, accidentally turned him.
Yeah, despite some post-race nerves, letting loose, there's nothing intentional there.
Zach Panzarella gets the championship as everybody joins the celebration on the cool-down lap. Hey, at least the only incident was after the race started.
Yeah, right? I mean, a very clean race. Very great run for Panzarella here. Missing the back end after the race, but that puppy still looks happy on the side of that truck.
That's the... Oh! It was.
And now he's not.
Jake Mackey, everybody. As everybody, has the celebration of a lifetime, we still haven't had a burnout for the championship winner yet.
Don't ask Andrew Sharp how to do one.
Oh, don't get started. It's synchronized burnout time for everybody. RBM having some burnouts. You also throw Ryan Newman for some reason in 22nd. And your championship winner, Zach Panzarella, gets the 2024 Season 2 title for the PRL Truck Series.
I think now we're just celebrating end of season at this point, JP. Everyone is doing burnouts. They survived the season of PRL. We get a couple weeks off. But let's take a look at the results and see how they all lined up.
Stephen Kirby, second straight win to close out the campaign. Austin Hunter, Zach Panzarella, your top 3. Panzarella gets the win, or rather the title win for DDI. Marty Calvert, Brendan Shatley. Calgill dropped to 6th in the very end. Sharp, Dewey, Beaver, Alica, your top 10. In 11th spot tonight, Dylan Smith. He had a slide at the very end of the race. Nicholas Hunter finished in 12th in front of Mike Toomer Jr. and Stacy Hunter. Morales, Richter, Wildman, Mackey, Johnson, and Peltz, your lead lap finishers. A lap down tonight, Zach Williams, Ryan Newman. He got back on the racetrack 36 laps down just in time for celebrations. Will Jennings finishes just behind him, not getting back on racetrack in 23rd. And Brett Adams, he ends up finishing 58 laps down in this one here tonight from Charlotte. Drivers already standing by. Let's start things off with Stephen Kirby. He's with Derek Watson.
Well, Stephen Kirby, 2 weeks in a row we get to do this interview. Congrats on your win. You won at Charlotte.
Yeah, thanks. This is my home track. I grew up right 30 minutes west of here, so always awesome to come here. I love it when it stretches out. We had some good green flag runs, so that was fun.
You kind of ate my second question I was going to ask. Does it always feel better to win on an iconic track like Charlotte?
Yeah, it does, especially when I've been there so much to watch racing. So mostly for the All-Star races back when they used to be there every year. So awesome track, and considering it's home, even better.
So you got to the lead kind of during the battle with Panzarella and Cowgill side by side. Was your idea just to get out in front of him and go, or what was your goal there?
Yeah, so once I got past Cowgill, I was like, all right, let me get out here as far as I can. And you could tell I did, because I think it was Austin Hunter was chasing me down there at the end. So if there'd have been 4 or 5, 6 more laps, I probably couldn't have held him off, because he was killing me in 3 and 4. My right front was done by that point.
Well, you got the win in the patriotic paint scheme. Nice look on the red, white, and blue Budweiser scheme. So I'm going to end the interview by asking you, what's the plans for Stephen Kirby in season 3?
Well, I won't be back in season 3, so we're going to go some different avenues. So, but it's been a blast running with everyone here, and I'll definitely be watching and keeping up with you guys for sure.
All right, well, listen, it's been a pleasure watching you race, and congrats on the win at Charlotte.
Hey, thank you. I'd like to give a shout out, if I could, real quick. RBM, Garrett, Zach Austin, Zach Williams, Ryan Newman, Edward Peltz, Evan Williams, and Colton Easterday. And thanks to my wife, Jamie, and my son, Eli, and my mom for watching as well.
There you go. Well, hi, Mom, and have a good night.
Thanks. Y'all too.
That's Stephen Kirby coming away with the race win here tonight. But coming away with the championship tonight, he finished top 3 to close it out. Zach, you get your first wins in PRL this season. How about your first title in PRL?
I don't know what to say, guys. I'm beyond happy. I mean, this you can say whatever you want about what's real in racing and what iRacing is, but ever since Dalton invited me to this league years ago, this has meant the world to me. Like, this has meant so much to me. I've wanted this so bad. I remember when I started here, a top 20 was a win. And this means the world to me. And these guys that I get the privilege to race with every week, the opportunity to be the champion of this league is something that I can't even explain.
And talk to us about the progression throughout the season once more, where you picked up a couple wins, first wins in PRL, put in all the effort, ran the C fixed races and official to get the feel for these races. How has that all been in terms of the lead up for what you've seen this season?
Yeah, I mean, it was just so much of just putting in a lot of work, right? Like running so many officials, and as your I rating, increases, you're running around guys who are very talented, and it kind of just morphs you into a better driver. I want to say, like, I've told a few people this, but the weirdest experience, or the weirdest part about this experience, is I never felt like I got faster. I just felt like I was suddenly further up the field than I was before. So it was just so much, I guess, just work behind the scenes and so many hours put in. I just take this league so seriously, and I wanted that to reflect in my performance. And yeah, once I got that first win, which to me felt like a championship, but this is indescribable. But once I got that first win, it just kicked it up a notch, and I wanted it so bad. It's been really the center of my universe for the past 9 weeks.
On that note, what's the plan now for season 3?
This is a weight off my back, honestly, because I genuinely felt like, when's the next time this is ever going to happen again? Like, I don't know. Like, I've had so much have to go right between stealing that Daytona second place and my first win with strategy. I had so much had to go right. So I didn't know when this is going to happen again and when I'd have this chance again. So that weight's off my back now that I have this championship, and I feel like I can. I don't know what the word is, but it feels a lot better. I'm excited for next year. I'm so excited, and just prepare for the playoffs and and 2 more seasons with this amazing team. And I couldn't be more grateful and more lucky to have my team and be in this league.
Who do you want to give a shout out to for the championship?
Yeah, this one's going to take a minute. First off, I just want to shout out everybody in this league. Whataback Racing, all you guys, everyone in Xfinity Cup and Truck who races for that team. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We've been rivals all season, but you wouldn't know by the way they treat me. They're all class acts, and Patrick Calgill included. I raced my ass off against him today. I raced him super hard. But we had been discussing that all week, and he's been a source of motivation all week. We've been such fierce competitors on the track, but so friendly and respectful off the track, and I can't say enough good things about him and about that whole team. Same with Philmar Racing, Philip Beaver, Jake Mackey, Marty Calvert, Steve Kirby, Newman, all those guys. I love those guys so much. They're such great guys. All week they were lifting me up, giving me the motivation I needed, and I had a blast racing them today. And my team. I love Daily Drivers Inc., DDI Motorsports so much. Dalton, who spotted me this whole race, and I couldn't have done this without him. Every race I won this year, he spotted me. And Dylan, Tom, missed you today, Jose, and all our guys in MRL. And then I also, of course, want to shout CM Pennington. When he passed, he just wanted us to get a win. And oh God, sorry. When I got that win, he's all I could think about, and I just can't even imagine how he'd feel seeing us win a championship. So that's for you, CM, and we miss you so much. My friends, Jordan, who's my advisor, Ryan Spurlock, my fiance, Erin, my family, who I know is watching, everyone in DDI on the other side of this company, PRL for being the most awesome league to be in, and RaceSpot for making these broadcasts something that I can show my friends and something that makes all this experience feel so freaking cool. And I mean, ever since I was a kid, all I wanted to do was drive a race car, and I never had the means to it when I was younger, and I always felt like I had something. And this is so cool. Thank you, guys.
Once again, Zach, congratulations. You're a PRL champion.
Let's go. Love you guys. Oh, man. Let's party.
Zach Panzarella off to party as he picks up the championship here tonight. That would put him as the 109th champion in the history of the Precision Racing League. A couple more drivers also standing on by real quickly. We'll touch upon with second place Austin Hunter. Austin's with Derek.
Austin, sort of the unsung hero of this race, because you had a really great run at the end. What happened? Did you just find a groove? Had you saved tires? What happened there?
I was able to save tires kind of better than the field. I started 5th in that last run, and I was just willing to let them kind of run away and burn their stuff up, and just hoping that we stayed green long enough that it would come back to me, and just needed maybe 2 or 3 more minutes in the race.
I thought I was going to ask how many more laps, 2 or 3, you think you could have had him? Or
I think I could at least. I definitely still had more than he did. Not as much as I wanted, but it was getting to the point to where I would have done what I needed to do in those next couple minutes.
Well, listen, great job on the P2 night, your second of the season, and I'm assuming we'll see you back in a few weeks.
Absolutely. I'm a PRL lifer. They can't get rid of me. I've been around this league since before Jerome even owned it. But thank you guys for all you do. Just want to make sure I give a shout out to Steven for his win tonight, and Zach on his championship. Congratulations. I had my best season I've ever had in this league, and I still couldn't even keep up with him. So congratulations to him and my friends over at Waterback. And thank you guys.
There you go. Well, awesome. Great run tonight, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Appreciate it.
Austin Hunter coming away with a podium finish here tonight. Get a couple words with the championship runner-up as well. Patrick, you end up having a strong race tonight, a top 10 finish. How would you describe, though, the season as a whole as you come up just shy for the title?
I felt like it was an okay season. I mean, I just had some bad luck at a couple of tracks, which kind of killed me, but I mean, Zach did an awesome job the whole season. I think he only had one race outside of the top 5, but it was still in the top 10. I mean, he definitely deserved this championship. And now that last run, I was trying so hard that I just burned my crap up, and yeah, he definitely earned this championship. So congrats to him.
Overall, where do you think was the major difference, or what was the major difference in the end for this championship, and why?
I mean, I think it was a bunch of different things all combined. Like last week, finishing 25th didn't help at all, but I still felt it was going to come down to the last race, so I don't think it was really one thing or anything like that. But I do want to say that congrats to Whataback Final Drive. That was me, Mike Richter, and Brennan Chatley, because we won the team championship for the season, which is freaking awesome.
There's that confirmation indeed right there as well. So what are the plans for you and your team now? I know there's talks for Grand National for you, but what's it looking like for the rest of the group?
I mean, we're all Brendan's actually going up to Grand National next season, but me and Mike will be back. We're going to finish out the year, and then for the first season in 2025, I'm being forced up to Grand National. So,
okay, a bit of a shuffle there, but congratulations on the run, Patrick.
Thank you, guys.
Patrick Calco closing out discussions now for the truck side of things here from Charlotte as we get ready for the second half of the card. Again, championship picked up by Zach Panzarella, team title to Calco and his outfit from Whataback. But it's time to restack the deck, so to speak. It's the Grand National Series for the PRL, and it's ready to go in a few moments here on RaceSpot. Joseph Pritz, Derek Watson still in the booth alongside Joshua Lee producing. Nick Hunter, our spotter now for this race as we get set to go for the Grand National cars. More time on the clock. Also, different conditions in theory. This is still the finale regardless.
Yep, still the finale, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Here we are, week 9 of this new 9-week format. Only the second season of it, so it's pipe. But you thought 2 drivers was exciting for the points battle, Justin. I got news for you. We have 3. We have Bradley Holly up at 295, Abner Acosta at 281, and Ted Lowendick at 280. We have a 3-way battle for that first place. You got Daniel Knight, Reese Bogue, Jeff Evans. They're involved in the battle for maybe 3rd through 6th and on back. But there's a 3-way battle here, Justin, for this championship victory.
It's going to be interesting how it falls in turn. Holly with that advantage by 14 points. The team side has a bit more separation, but it's all Whataback essentially in that battle. Whataback Racing Overdrive up over Whataback Racing TNT and back row. Regan Bogue Motorsports slipping back in the 4th position to close out the run. They're tied up nearly with their second counterparts entering this evening's race. So, the drivers themselves getting themselves ready to go for what should be an interesting one here tonight. As you can tell, Bradley Holly already in full effect, getting himself ready to go in the blue room, in effect meaning blue car.
And that brand new Lego Star Wars set on the side there, JP, on camera left, I think is done or just about done. So Bradley's been showing that off all week in the Whataback Discord, and I know I got a couple pictures of it privately today. So cool to see. But here we are. Now it's daytime at Charlotte, JP, so hotter temps, probably a looser track.
Yeah, a bit more of a trickier track in theory on the docket for these drivers coming up here. So we'll see how they all race it out here, especially different fields, qualifying already done. Abner Acosta on the pole, Bradley Holly second, Lowendick and Sink, your top 4. Bogue and Knight in the top 6. A different look for Daniel Knight tonight, with it being Memorial Day weekend. Same for Jeff Evans in 7th. Doug Evans going full-on Army mode, as it will be Zemke and Morgan behind them. J.C. Evans alongside Mark Martin, paint scheme once again of Colton Lane. Amongst your top 12 starters tonight. Other drivers in the field include Mark Kalin. He's throwing back to Michael Waltrip tonight. Chris Dean and Dalton Geyer rounds out the field.
Yeah, Dalton Geyer doing a great job. In fact, he's been moving this week, JP. Just unboxed that rig today so that he can get out here and do some racing with this group. But there's lots of cool stories to be had here. But let's start by looking at the track itself. It's now 3:45 virtual sometime the next day. 106-degree Fahrenheit track temp. That's fairly hot. There's going to be some loose race cars here in this field. So I'm excited to see what this racing produces. And I think tires, and you're going to ask, tires is still going to be an important thing.
Yeah, that's going to be a major talking point tonight. Make sure you don't fry the tires. Fall off expect to be a lot more significant compared to the trucks, especially with the hotter conditions. Still could see a lot of bottom feeding for these drivers short and mid-run, though. What are your keys to win?
Oh, it's all about tire saving here. It's a longer race, hotter temps. It's about who can take care of that. I think it was Ted Lowendick who told me that's all about saving that right side tire, and taking care of it will be an important thing. But if we can put a camera really quickly on Thomas Sink, I'm going to call him out real quick. I learned last week, JP, Thomas Sink has had the ability to do the flyover for the Coke 600 in real life. And I think he did one other, I forget where the other one was, but so Thomas Sink's actually done the flyover we see in our pre-race real-life tradition. So I want to say thank you to Thomas Sink for doing those cool moments and his service. It's always kind of cool to hear those great stories out of our fellow competitors.
An interesting story in terms of flyovers. Thomas Sink, an officer in the military, goes up ninth with the military looks here tonight. Many people went full patriotic mode tonight.
All right, well, here we go. You see a few patriotic paint schemes in this field as well. And lots of fun to be had to see that green Todd Rossett esports machine. James Morgan's apparently flipping it around this week, but I'm excited to see how the three-way battle turns out.
Just about ready to go for tonight's festivities. Again, it's Acosta in control of the field here for the PRL and its Grand National Series. Outside is going to be Holly. Probably Holly in a very comfortable position for the championship fight. Bonus points going the way of Acosta, though. With this qualifying run, clip the distance down to just 12. Pace truck is off. We're all set to go racing for the PRL Grand National Series here at Charlotte. A day race, ready to go. Green flag is out. We're underway from America's Home for Racing. Holly tried the cross down the back straightaway, didn't get to work though. Acosta holds on to lead the first lap, 55 minutes on the clock.
Well, just like real life NASCAR finales at certain points, JP, you have your front three as your top three who are leading the points and leading the race. So right now it's Acosta, Holly, Lowendick in that order as far as who's getting around there. But a beautiful job here. Reese Bogan fourth, Daniel Knight in fifth. So quickly they are getting single file on the bottom of that track.
And all that shuffling right now, seeing Acosta trying to play a little defense. Already James Morgan falling down the pylon. We stay green though, as Morgan is all the way back. Up front, Ted Lowendick looking to try build the run. Still top three, staying working together.
And really, Ted Lowendick is probably the surprise of this group. Had a great run last week when the others didn't. And really, always known for a long time as being the road course veteran. He had that win last week, which propelled him to the top three. And here he is, hoping for all the right moves so he can get there. Here's what happened to James Morgan at the top of that corner. You see there's that transition, got it loose. And the wall kind of saved him, but the car inside did not.
And in the wall with some right side damage. That's going to hurt him for the rest of the way. We'll see how he's able to recover already. But everyone's just trying to do the simple thing. Paint the blue line, run the bottom. That seems to be the main theme when it comes to this track in this package.
Yeah, that's exactly the main point, right? Is just, conserving, saving, and driving the correct line here. That paint the blue line is different than what we saw in the trucks. Felt like in the trucks, if you painted that blue line, they would sort of hop up on you and get a little loose and a little wiggly. But in these Grand National cars, it feels like you can do that a little bit better than what you were previously. Well, here we are, just a few minutes off the clock, JP, and already your top three are pulling away.
Now, to loop back to the story you were talking about before race, it was Daniel Knight referred to in that regard, and the theme for the reason his squadron, it flies 1C-17s. Now, his portion has had experience with the flyover you were saying at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It will not be participating this year, it is worth noting. Ted Lowendick, he's trying to make note for the race lead, already made the pass for second this lap. He wants the point.
Look at that. Ted wants to get out to the front here, wants to control his own destiny. Got a little bit of drafting help from Bradley Holly in the back as they're now inside Abner Acosta. And a little bit of a connection maybe there for Ted. We'll see what's going to happen there to focus on other racing. We're back to it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Ted's inside and made it. And you're right. I had the wrong name. I said Thomas Sink. He's a law enforcement officer, and I had him confused with Daniel Knight. So I do apologize for the wrong point there. But look at this battle.
Yeah, Acosta, good defense from the second, third groups there. Here's a look at the Holly cam. He's got a good view of what's happening, what's in front. Already, some different lines. Ted Lowendick trying to see if the top line works for the clean air.
Not only the clean air, but maybe just trying to see if he can maybe conserve that tire longer by putting less input in and seeing what he can do long-term versus short-term. You know, short-term rewards, long-term gains often don't tie one another together. Usually to pick one or the other here. Oh, there's a wall hit, though. That is not going to conserve anything. And that's going to put Bradley Holly back to second.
All the way to the battle for second now goes Ted. Ted Lowendick picking up the win last time out. This time we'll have to deal with the right front fender damage for the next 50 minutes or so on the clock. The top three have ran away significantly, by the way. How about 2 seconds nearly between the leader and Reese Bogue?
Yeah, that's a big story. These guys, for the most part, I mean, they are battling a little bit, but they're also keeping in line. They're keeping the draft moving. And if you look in the back of that shot, it's not as coordinated back there. Reese Bogue, Jeff Evans, Adam Zimke, Thomas Sink back there. The next four are not quite as in line. Oh, man, look at that wiggle from Lowendick. That was scary. Thought he was going to lose the car out of 2.
Still able to hold on for now. Keyword, that's for now, with how the conditions are on the racetrack. So time ticking away, still early going, 94 estimated laps to go, still a one-stopper regardless. Jeff Evans, he's looking to make some moves now in one of the throwback schemes to the inside.
Yeah, what a beautiful throwback scheme that is, too. They were all showing them off their throwback schemes in Discord today and talking about their experience with them and their relatives who have served in the military. Of course, this in the States is Memorial Day weekend where we stop and pause and think about those who do and have served. And we had to talk about that in Discord today and had a cool moment there. But doing a great job here, keeping Reese Bogue ahead of him and keeping cars behind him and just trying to stay in line and see what he can have later.
Reese Bogue near contact as he lifted hard in the corner. Able to avoid it, though, as the slide throws through. Now, several drivers are running patriotic paint schemes for this race, and many gave backstories on the reasons why, including Evans saying his grandfather and his dad's father, essentially, was in the Air Force for World War II, a part of one of the navigator units, essentially. Hence why the throwback scheme and the patriotic look for the 51 tonight.
Yeah, always cool to see when you can honor relatives or friends or people you respect or cherish with your paint schemes. Always a cool moment, whether it be friends or heroes or pets or whatever you may have. The fact that you get to do that and kind of, in your own little way, signify your love and respect for them is a very unique thing to auto racing. So let's actually talk about another paint scheme, if you don't mind, JP. Let's go back to Doug Evans. His paint scheme is not patriotic. This actually is themed after his favorite drag racer. So Jeff painted this for Doug. And it's not only the paint scheme, it's also the... And they are in honor of, I'm going to get this wrong, Don the Snake Prudhomme is Doug's favorite drag racer. So that is what Doug Evans' suit, helmet, I believe the helmet, maybe it's the suit, and the car are painted after tonight.
It's an interesting look, and especially when it comes to the snake script. I've noticed he went full out. You have to say though, to get that race suit also customized, that takes a lot of effort in the sim.
Yeah, Jeff is one of the unsung heroes of PRL with all the painting he does for his team. There's the outside of it, has the army, so it is patriotic in the sense, but it has another meaning to it as well. For Doug, it's not just a patriotic scheme, so always cool to see in that moment. It's a nice looking car, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot more different than you expect to see on this car. Absolutely. It's almost next gen, but different. It's almost it almost looks like that it almost, if you do it right, shows if you put a thought into it, you can make it work without the number on the side of the door.
It really does kind of give you that next-gen vibe. You're right. I never thought about that when I saw it the first time, but you're right. It does really give that vibe. And also what it gives, the understanding is how much more space there is on a Grand National versus the drag car that Don drove, because there's all the extra white space on the paint.
Still the top three staying settled out for the time being. Holly's losing ground. Acosta has been better long run for parts of the season. Seems that's the case tonight.
Yeah, it really does seem that way, doesn't it? Right now, Acosta's pulled away. But at times, we've seen Acosta have this short run speed, but maybe the end of the race doesn't always go his way. So we'll wait and see how this plays out over the next 46 minutes here. You see that beautiful sparkle coming up with Bradley's green machine as he goes around the track here. And of course, you made the point earlier that the car color and the room color for Bradley are almost always identical. So the car color versus his webcam color, he has them coordinated.
Hey, it's important to look stylish while being fast, am I right?
I mean, yeah, you got to do it there, right? So there's Bradley, just with a little bit input in that wheel, lots of Lego stuff all around the room. And get that sim almost, you want to call it a teal? Do you have a name for this green, Justin?
It's teal. Aquamarine.
Ooh, there's a fancy one, aquamarine.
In other words, you know, teal.
Teal. Yeah.
Hey, like I said, takes a lot of work to the LEDs matched up cover to color. Adam Zemke, he's having his best race so far this season. He's had horrific luck in that 57.
Yeah, he has had, unfortunately, really bad luck with that 57. And someone who's had up and down luck this season is Reese Bogue. At moments has had moments of brilliance. At moments has been in the back of the field and has had a hard time this season. Reese loves his short track racing in real life and does get involved in that. But here within the Grand Nationals has had just an up and down season. You know, not doing horrible in the points, but has done better in the past than he is currently.
Still trying to match wheel to wheel with Jeff Evans. If anything, getting a little bit aero tight, trying to fall in the tire tracks. But nothing doing to be able to follow Tom, the Daniel Knight machine in front, also getting a touch bit loose throughout the corners. You can tell the amount of rubber buildup is also piling up. If you look around, it's starting to look a lot more greasier out there.
Yeah, you can start to see a little bit of the line forming, a little bit of darkness on the track. Just that's where the rubber buildup is starting to happen versus the light portions of the track. So it'll happen over time. This is a long race with lots of laps if we stay green. So there will be some rubber buildup, and that'll be good news for the drivers because it will help provide them a line to race and somewhere to be, maybe a guideline, if you will. But right now, everyone's still kind of getting on there. And I think, was that Colton Lane in the back I saw maybe hit the wall back there out of two?
Yeah, a little bit of tight moments back here. This is where some of the others like J.C. Evans, Christine, Mark Halen, Doug Evans running side by side. Right now, Christine trying to have one of his better races this season. Looking to move up to 11th spot, one of the newcomers this year. Able to make the move. Kalen seems to have a big problem. He is big time out of the gas in these corners.
Yeah, he's out of the gas big. J.C. Evans just got by him, so we'll see. I'm really surprised to say typically Charlotte is a Mark Kaling kind of track. Typically, the older the track is in the NASCAR schedule, it feels like the better Mark does at it sometimes. But at least today in that old Napa machine that's made out to say Flow instead of Napa, Mark is trying his best to see what is going on. Let's listen in here for a second. Is he fuel saving? Because when you look at that wheel, JP, and look at his inputs, the car's not fighting him. It's not an issue of a loose or a tight race car. It's almost like he's fuel saving. Is he trying to make this a one-stopper?
In theory, it should be a one-stopper regardless.
That's why I'm confused, right?
I think it's more so just the tires aren't cooperating. He's already running 32.7s. The leaders are in the 32.1s.
Yeah, that may be it as well. You may be right, but that's a lot of lifting right there. Kind of surprised. I wonder if he had some contact we didn't see earlier that maybe has caused his car to behave weird, because it's not common to be that much out of the gas at Charlotte.
Back to Thomas Sink. He's running 7th. Still has the new sponsor on the hood from last time out, trying to go full tilt to keep up with the 57.
Yeah, doing a great job here in keeping up with the 57. That is Thomas Sink there trying to catch Adam Zemke, who is trying to catch Jeff Evans. So some great battles still happening here at this track. And of course, you and I have noted the history of this track would be the pass in the grass, the $1 million winners, the various formats. The All-Star race that would happen in real life because there's a new format every year. You know, the unfortunate memory of the tire race that happened in the mid-2000s where they, had a tire blow every 13 laps or so. There's been many memories here at this track in real life.
Yeah, it's an interesting racetrack, to say the least, with the history built upon it. Not too many changes over the years in terms of the banking profiles and configurations, but this new pavement from at the time, from around 2018, or rather new scan is the better phrase, has been an interesting one on iRacing in general, because before it was more so newer pavement, a lot bump in terms of bumps you still deal with. But since the Roval was added here in the iRacing scan with it, it's been an interesting track to try and battle with because of how much the grip moves around.
Yeah, it's been a much different track over the past, I guess, now 6 years since we got that scan, maybe 5 years since we got that scan with the Roval in it. And you're right, it's been very iconic. Of course, it's a free track on the iRacing service, so it's the most used track in official racing on all of iRacing, whether it be through the Oval or the Roval, because of that stat that it is free. So everyone has experience here. In fact, many racers on iRacing start their Oval license racing here in the street stocks, which are getting an upgrade next season. But
yeah,
it's funny, JP. You start in iRacing, you race those street stocks, and you think you're going fast, and you think you're really just blowing through it. And then you come up here and you race the trucks, the Grand Nationals, Cup cars. If you go back to the street stocks, you realize you weren't really going that fast. You just kind of felt like you were.
I know it's a bit off topic compared to the race, but the street stock side, it's a long time coming for the update, though, you have to argue. Especially since the cars have changed a lot. In some areas, you can argue it's a V8 stock, what the update looks like. But that's essentially what it is in the States. In some areas, right, is a V8 engine in a stock crate configuration.
Yeah, and of course, lots of updates coming next season. In fact, we just watched the truck race happen for PRL, but next season there's a brand new package coming for the trucks, while some aerodynamic changes. So we'll see how that affects the racing for PRL in Season 3. Lots of fun things coming to the update here in a couple weeks. That's part of why PRL takes the break they do, is to allow for the Week 13 update to happen and for everyone to kind of get accustomed to it. And I know we said it in the trucks, JP. We should say it now. If you want to race in the Grand Nationals next season, the trucks, the 86s, the MX-5s, the GT3s, or any other thing that PRL does, signups are open. And I believe the only thing not taking signups, and I might be wrong, JP, is the GT3s. I think that might be full for the fixed series, not the open. But go to precisionracingleague.com and you can sign up today. There's Mark Kalin. Is that either down? I can't tell what corner.
That's a scheduled stop.
That's off pit road, right? Yep. Okay, there's the blue cone. We're off pit road. So Mark Kalin's going to make this a two-stopper.
Interesting call. They project to be a one-stopper on the gas, but he had been struggling mightily, hence the call.
Yeah, that's why you pit that early, right? If you're having that much trouble, you need to get down there and do something. You can't just run around here out of the throttle every corner. You have to try and make something happen for yourself. But here's the battle up front. This is second and third. This is Lowendick and Bradley Holly. As Abner Acosta, by the way, has paced these two by over 2 seconds right now.
Yeah, Acosta's just been on rails. Bradley Holly's still in a great spot for the championship regardless here. It's just all he needs to do, survive, especially with a one-back driver behind in the championship rival, but Acosta's just here to win.
Yeah, just like the old DJ Khaled song, right? All I do is win. That's what Abner Acosta wants to do. There's no better way to try to put the destiny of the title in your hands than to win. But with Bradley Holly currently in second, no matter what Abner Acosta does, Bradley Holly will win this title.
Ted Lowendick thought about a look, couldn't get a look to fully go though. Seems like Ted is a little bit quicker in at least 1 and 2 compared to Bradley Holly at this point. We'll see if it's sustained though. The average pace last time by was Ted Lowendick over the past 5, a couple hundreds quicker.
Yeah, we're just trying to look around here so we can make happen. You know, every race car driver wants to make moves no matter what spot you're in, or you know where you, whatever your scenario you're working on, points or wins or whatever. So see it happen. But I think what's happening in the back there, looks like Daniel Knight and Jeff Evans are closing in on them a little bit.
Yeah, they are slowly starting to creep in. Those two you mentioned were about up to a tenth quicker last time by, in particular Jeff Evans. These two just do not seem as comfortable in the long run compared to some of the others now at this point. Also, we're starting hearing loose conditions starting to pile up across the field too.
Oh yeah, that's going to happen here as we're now, you know, a good 20 minutes into this run. You know, hot track. So that's going to happen. I would not be surprised to see 1 or 2 other drivers who have to make this a 2-stop run, whether they want to or not because of those tires. Getting another 10 minutes out of this car to make it a 1-stopper will be a challenge.
Could be worse. Apparently over the radio, the Ford machine just said he got wrecking loose in one end of the track. So tight he knocked the wall down and through turn 4 on the other side. Not going great in that cap. 6th place on track is Thomas Sink. He's right now holding on to Zemke in the next pack.
Yeah, and when that happens to you, by the way, when you're loose in and tight off, it's so frustrating because you just don't know how to fix it. There's a replay on Zemke. I don't see.
This is still live.
I think it's okay. It said replay for a second. Sorry. When that happens to you, it's so frustrating because you want to diagnose it, but when it's loose on one side and tight on the other, it becomes hard to play that mental chess game and figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, and sometimes people are playing checkers in the middle of the chessboard instead. You never know.
Yeah, you just never know, right? You never know how to make it work. Look at that. Thomas Sink all the way out there, tracking out almost to a point where I got nervous, but was able to hold on to
the car back straightaway trouble. Christine in the wall. He and Doug Evans coordinated sliding. Christine able to keep it straight after the hit to the wall. Evans avoided the outside wall. We stay green.
There you go. That was your first moment where it could have got exciting. It could have had some implications on this race, but they kept it clean. And as Justin said, we're going to stay green.
Yeah, these drivers are now getting to where just hitting the gas full throttle for the straightaway can spin you. This is, that's dangerous when you get to that point. That's like Atlanta, old Atlanta, where if you can't do that, you kind of can't make a pass, let alone drive in a straight line.
Yeah, that means you have to be very calculated what you're going to do. Let's watch this again here as you're going to see him get up the hill here. And ooh, look at that. Very, very loose was Doug Evans out of the corner. And some contact happened thereafter. Man, you saw that car just slide. There was no controlling that.
Christine right now running after that contact in 12s. Here's some more moves, though. The packs that converge. Daniel Knight making the move on Ted Lowendick. He wants to have a good run to close out the season. Able to move himself up to the 3rd spot.
So, you know, JP, what's interesting about what we're seeing right now with the loose race cars, it's pure tire wear because track temp is down 2 degrees from where we started. So you can't claim it's a hotter track. You can't claim the track is messing with you. It's just how much of those tires you have used, because as this day is getting longer, temps are coming down ever so slightly.
Yeah, but there's a ton of rubber buildup. The longer this run goes, the more challenging this is going to be, and more near contact again. Adam Semke's also losing ground now as well in the next pack. Here's a look still with the run for Knight. He wants on Holly. Holly able to play defense for now as Ted Lomatic plays high side.
Oh man, look at this battle here. It's gotten really tight all of a sudden. Now it's 4, 5, 6 cars in this camera shot. At one point it was just Holly and Lowendick. Now has become a real kerfuffle here, if you will. A gaggle, if you will.
A kerfluffle-gaggle, as some would say. But side draft time. Knight nearly to the grass into the AstroTurf on the front straightaway. Holly forced to play a high side groove. Here comes the freshies of Kalen to join a little bit.
Whoa, look at Kalen, the way he went down that track. And it looked like that car was just pointed to the inside wall for a second, and he got it gathered up right at the bottom of the lane there.
Re-wide, it looks like Kalen no problems to get around. And Knight still running side by side for second, 4 or 5 seconds behind your race leader. 32 sixes for these drivers, 32-1 with the traffic for Kalen. Chris Dean has also just peeled into the pit lane after the 32 mark to go. Knight to second.
By the way, this herd of cars, this gaggle, is great news for Abner Acosta in a way. If they all could catch Bradley Holly and pass him, they could put him back to, P5 or P6 here, and that would open the window a little bit for Abner Acosta for the points title.
Yeah, just a little bit, but not enough to really impact it, so to speak, in theory, is the key word. Just enough to be able to try and battle it out. Of note, Chris Dean just missed his pit stall, so he will lose significant time on the racetrack. Bradley Holly now under attack by Evans. That's in the backdrop and all of this. That will be for the third position.
You know, in a way, what this reminds me of as we watch these cars going around, JP, is the fact that, Charlotte really is an endurance race. This is not a race typically where things happen every lap. It's a race where you have to just kind of wait and be patient, let the car come to you, let the track come to you. Whether we're watching the Coke 600, whether it be watching the Roval races that happen here, or anything in between, this is a track where it just kind of, it transitions, it moves around, it happens, and you just have to be ready for it. Here's the pit road thing you talked about. Let's watch this be Chris Dean and the 2 coming down, and just slid it too far. And talk about backing in.
Yep, just about a half a step back. I think he barely missed it if he just went on the jacks like that. That's a tiny correction.
Yeah.
But, back to the point where we're saying,
I was just saying, this is just a long race, and this is really, for some drivers, it's frustrating how long it is, because it feels like you can't just make things happen. They have to kind of, as they come to you. This week, of course, for the NIS, it's the full-length Coke 600. Here on RaceSpot, we'll carry top split NIS on Friday night. Myself, Evan Basoko, and I think Dustin Allis on the production booth, I believe, who is there, but you just have to wait and make things happen. You can't, this isn't Bristol, this isn't Martinsville, this isn't Daytona where things happen or you can really control it. It feels like it's out of your hands.
yeah, and a lot of people like to control it. In terms of what's in your hands, what's not in your hands, in terms of grip. Right now, the problem is a lot of these drivers are lacking the grip. Interesting enough, remember our discussion on strength of steering wheels? Funnily enough, your current points leader in this series did pipe into the conversation at one point. 19.1 is the strength for Holly. That's with a 13 nanometer steering wheel. For those who don't know what that means, essentially that means strength is good, and as well, it's a good wheel. But also calibrated to feel a lot of feedback, but not enough, as you can tell, to lose the grip. Pit stop time. Pit window was open. Knight, Acosta, Sink, peel in. So they now land rush the pit lane with Lowendick in, with JC Evans also amongst those peeled down this time by for scheduled service. We'll see how the others respond as the 48 nearly pitted in the wrong box. More pit stops this time expected include Doug Evans and more. Jeff Evans also responding. This is about halfway to the race, 51 estimated laps to go on the dot. Holly grabs the lap lead with the decision to stay out here. A smart play for a bonus point to at least equalize on that one here. And at least take away that opportunity for Acosta to reel in points from a lap lead. Sepke already indicated on the radio, pit stop this time by. Expecting more here. Bradley Holly going slow. He's off the banking. He ducks down with Colton Lane. A bit of a slide. No speeding penalties though. Sepke also joins the pit party.
And luckily for the drivers, this is one part of in my opinion, the easier pit roads to get onto. And the banking transition is pretty nice for it. You know, it's got a decent speed, lots of space to get into it. You know, throughout the season, we've seen trouble with black flags for speeding and pit road entries, but this should not be one of those locations. Here's Bradley Holly up right sides, getting those fixed, and now the car will drop, and the left side will pick up here in just a second. There it is. And then he will be good to go, and that should just about, I believe, Justin, minus maybe Dalton Geyer, who's coming down pit road right now, that should complete the cycle, I believe.
We do have James Morgan yet to pit, but he is still behind Mark Kalin on track. So his two-stop is underway. Fast lap this time by the way, went to the credit of Daniel Knight. Bad news if you're a fan of 36, by the way, he just missed the pit lane, nearly crashed it into the back of the racetrack, as in into the garage area. So, interesting call, only 4 seconds up, it's not going to work for the win though.
No, it might get him a bonus point for leading a lap here, but no, you're right, it's not going to cause the win here. He needs to pit again. There's no worldly scenario where I think Mark Kalin has the gas or equipment left with how early he pitted to make this again without stoppage. What Mark Kalin really needs is a caution in about 5 or 10 minutes so he can get his last stop in. And the reason I say 5 or 10 minutes for now is because at that point everyone else would pit with him. If the caution comes out right now, everyone's going, oh, I just pitted, and they're going to stay out and he's going to pit. What do you think, JP? Maybe 10 minutes or so everybody would go with him?
Yeah, I think so. James Morgan trying to roll the dice, by the way, on that, has just let everybody go. He needs a caution in the next 5 laps for this to even work out. Remember, he went and had that issue to start the race, seeing him in the back of the field into the grass. We still have not had a caution since. Bradley Holly has cycled behind both Sink and Jeff Evans here.
Yeah, James, one of the single car teams with Talbot Rossi Esports. The goal for next season is to get him a teammate, someone to practice with, someone to compete in the points battle with. So we'll see how that turns out. But right now, James, one of those single car teams out there in the point standings.
Yeah, he's not having a fun time right now. I know there was talk this season for the teammate. As the team manager Cap comes back out here, how has it been looking in terms of the effort? I do have one.
95% sure we have one lined up for next season. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I think we'll have a second driver for Grand Nationals. We'll also have a second driver, I believe, for the LMP3s as well.
Trouble, James Morgan crashed into it, turn 3. Sepke runs into him. Caution flag is out.
Well, it's hard to see, but yeah, that's your caution, and it's a little early for Mark Kalin, but also good news for Mark Kalin. He'll stay in the lead lap by pitting here. Let's wait and see what happens on the replay, because it happened off camera according to the broadcast feed, but you see the results of it there with the 12 missing his back end.
That just worked out perfect for Kalin. That did not work out at all for James Morgan. He had been trying to let everybody go, especially Weeble wobbling, lifted early. Sepke plows into him. He was trying to run the high line.
Yeah, I mean, he was running the high line. There was not much higher he could have been, short of, I guess, but inside the wall, honestly. Let's watch this again from Zimke's point of view. What's going to happen, I believe, is when the 72 pulls down, Zimke's going to be surprised to find out there's a car there. So it's not so much as Zimke did anything wrong as much as he just didn't know. His view was blocked, if you will. See, watch this here. when Lomadick pulls down, or Lomadick, when that car pulls down, yeah, he had no idea to know Morgan was up there.
Terrible timing, and Morgan has towed the car after having the wheel fall apart, trying to catch up to the field. But pit party time here, as they do have that extra set available essentially compared to officials. 3 tire sets available in the pits. Everyone ducks down, but Kalen gets the track position big enough. He was 29 laps into that run. Now he gets to see, does he have speed to battle for the lead?
I'm a little surprised everybody came down. We're only about 3 minutes out from those last pit stops. I'm surprised here. Let's see what goes up and what goes down on these cars. I'm surprised everybody came down here. I thought a couple people would have stayed out and took the track position. But no, everyone's got 4 tires. I am stunned. Here comes Kalen looking for the... Wow.
Acosta wins the race off the pit lane. Kalen second, Sink, Holly, and Knight your top 5. Everyone does take the 4 tires. They're 10 laps into the run at the time of the caution flag, by the way. So with about 20 minutes to go, this should be pretty significant in terms of how this could play out for the race win. Bradley Holly's in an interesting position here, though, with how things are looking right now. Position in the 4th spot. Gonna be curious where it's gonna be on points by the end of the night, but still looks safe as long as he doesn't have trouble in the restart.
The problem is he's going to be a little bit in the pack of the restart here. So if anything goes wrong in this restart, if someone misses a gear, if someone spins a tire, if someone does anything wrong, he's going to feel the effect of it pretty quickly. So, yeah, and I think also looks like maybe Thomas Sink grabbed a couple spots from this pit cycle. You know, JP, I know that the common answer is to take 4 tires. I'm surprised everybody came down pit road. I thought some people would have stayed out. I'm more surprised no one tried 2 tires. We had not been on those left side tires that long. I'm surprised someone back in the field didn't try a 2-tire run to try and make up time on pit road.
If it was 5 laps, I'd argue it. But if it's on 99s, in terms of tire percentage, that's the risk, right? If it was the truck, I would try it. If this is not a truck, though.
No, I agree. But if you're a low and dick and you're trying to win a points title, you have to take a risk somewhere to get through this field. You have to do something different. I'm just surprised if you're a Bradley Holly, maybe you want to get back in front. I'm just a little surprised. I don't know. Sometimes you have to try. Sometimes you have to be different to be successful.
Abner Acosta so far has been outright dominant. 52 laps led. He's already guaranteed the most laps led on the night, so give him an hour bonus point there. Mark Kalen starts alongside, then it's Sink and Holly. A battle between the Chevys and the Fords. Reese Bogue, the only Toyota in the field, right in the middle of it.
Let's see how this restart goes and see if Mark Kalen can get the jump he needs.
Can't get a jump too big, though, without risking a black flag. Green, green, green. Acosta good on the gas. They went all the way to green, essentially, there already. Thomas Sink looking for second. Battles on through turn 2. Mark Kalen, faster run. Weeble wobbles on the cold tires. Daniel Knight taking a peek, but Bradley Holly wants to keep it a fight.
Well, let's see how the tires handle turns 3 and 4. This has been our problem spot on new tires in any vehicle. And right now, everyone is good. But look at Reese Bogan, the 4 up top, trying to make some moves here. And that Toyota trying now to the bottom of the track, trying to see what he can gain quickly on this restart.
Bradley Holly's losing on this restart. Got loose. Able to keep it planted. Holly saying the loosest he's been reportedly. Well, you can tell when you're drifting through 3 and 4 over the tunnel.
Yeah, you know in the car. My rule is always if we can see it in the broadcast, then the driver must really know they're drifting. Because if it's bad enough we can see it, it's got to be bad inside the car. But look at this beautiful battle happening here. Holly stuck back in P5, trying to get by Knight, Kalen, and Sink to see if he can get back to Abner Acosta.
Kalen getting very loose now for the second line. Here comes Holly. He wants third back. He'll get third back. Kalen getting shuffled immediately. Here comes Reese Bogue.
Now here comes Bogue, going to give a small bit of drafting help to Bradley Holly. They're going to stick to the bottom lane here, and then they'll drift back up out of the corner. And they'll put Mark Kalen between them.
17 minutes on the clock. Looks like Kalen having to back up a ton more than everyone else. That's allowed Holly to build a buffer. Daniel Knight wants the lead for the first time in green flag conditions. He's yet to get a lead lap either tonight. He's looking to try and force Acosta to push as here comes Holly.
Yeah, they both come. Of course, Daniel Knight is in that painting to represent some of the planes he's flown in the past. So in his own way, has a patriotic Memorial Day scheme on his man. He got really wild back and forth there, trying to run that Abner Acosta.
Yeah, Acosta trying to block all the way to the AstroTurf and the unofficial turf. No move this time. Now there is a move, forcing Acosta up to the second line on top of the seam. Daniel Knight not able to make it stay there, though, to the inside.
Oh, but showed that he can do it. That's what he wants to do right now, is this kind of signal to Abner Acosta, hey, I've got this. I can make it happen, and make Abner Acosta think about it.
To the blue paint, too much paint. Knight clipping the paint. Here comes Holly.
Yeah, Bradley Holly will take advantage of any small factor he can and come back up into P2 safely around Knight. Reese Bogue now is going to try to get in here and get to P3 under Daniel Knight. We'll see how that happens. A little bit of contact possible there. Hard to tell from that camera shot.
That was definitely a little tap from Reese Bogue. Not a lot, though. So Daniel Knight goes from batting for the lead back to third spot with that slide. Ted Lowendick is now the fastest car on the track again. He's now +3 in the past 2 times through turn 2. Acosta now playing defense because Holly's going for the lead.
I just saw Bogue in the wall there towards the middle of the back straight. So he slapped off the wall and he'll lose the momentum. But now here we are back again. It's Acosta, Holly, Lowendick in your top 4 with Daniel Knight in between them. So we're back to having your title contenders at the front of the race.
This is for the win likely here with how things have gone. Holly going for the diamond. Acosta staying firm to the bottom. Bradley, Holly to the inside. Nearly got loose. Acosta trying to give some space. Holly trying to make it plant.
If you're Ted Lowendick, that's what you want to see. You want to see Acosta and Holly fighting really hard. You're kind of hoping there's contact if you're Ted Lowendick. Not that you want to hope for a wreck, but just because you know that's the one way that this title fight opens up for you. But man, that came close there with Holly sliding up to them making contact.
It's getting extremely dicey out there, to say the very least. Single file for now. Does Bradley Holly have enough to keep the pressure up, though? Remember, this is around the time where Acosta's tires started to turn on.
The question is Bradley Holly, in my mind, the question is, does Bradley Holly have enough to do it without making contact? Does he have to use the bump and run? Does he have to use a little bit of a fender tap? Or can he just make it happen all on its own?
I think we're about to find out any of those answers in the next 30 seconds here, because Holly's got another run. Does he take the run? Thought about it, didn't commit to it. And now Knight, he's also back on the prowl. He's cooled down his tires, it looks like. He was running as quick as the leader last time.
Here we go again, now back into turn 1 here, and it's still Acosta leading, Holly second, and Daniel Knight in third. So, great battle going on, even Lowendick back and forth. Single file racing here is not conducive to what maybe a Ted Lowendick or a Thomas Sink needs to catch the leader, but it's very conducive to what Abner Acosta wants to see.
Yeah, this is going right in the plans for some. Others, time to get a new blueprint. 13 minutes to go. The diamond line we've seen work well for the lead for the trucks, starting to come up again. How long can Holly make this last again this time? Remember, he fell off 5 seconds to Acosta during the green flag run before the cautions.
Well, the thing is here, he's got to time this move correctly whenever he's going to make the move, make the dive, whatever you want to call it, on Acosta. Because if he makes this move and makes it incorrectly, he'll fall back through the field pretty quickly and may not get another shot at it with only about 12 and a half minutes left on the clock here. So whatever Holly has planned, he has to make sure it executes perfectly, because this could be his only shot, his one opportunity, if you will, to seize everything he ever wanted.
Carpe diem indeed. 12 minutes to go. Oh, and troubles involving all the Evans for a moment. As all of them just had a moment with Doug Evans, we stay green for now. Here's a look, though, at the Evans clan. And following Jeff in particular, he now passes Kalen. That's for 8th.
Back here for 8th, you're right. So Jeff and Mark both in their patriotic paint schemes the weekend. We talked about that earlier. Kind of cool to see. But now we're under 12 minutes, JP, where time is ticking very quickly for Bradley Holly here. I don't think he has anything left, unfortunately. He maybe can stay in second. He's having a hard time getting to first.
Oh, someone falling down the pylon. Where did Ted go?
Ted's having connection problems, I'm pretty sure. So
yes,
the scoring pylon is not sure where he is on the track, to be honest. So we'll wait for that to sort itself out and see what happens.
Yeah, I was about to say that would be a bad time for Ted to have that for the championship front running. Acosta's now really running, though. This is green light, runaway on tires time by a 10th a lap for Acosta.
And this is why Abner Acosta is always considered to be one of the favorites in the PRL. When people mark off certain races and just kind of pencil in Abner's name, this is wise, because he is great. He's talented. You know, he's good at this. He's been at it a long time. Is a name well known across PRL for both road course racing and for oval racing. And moments like this explain exactly why.
How long does everyone else wait patiently compared to what we've seen last time on the tires, though? Remember, Knight came from 2 seconds back to close it up before. Not this time.
I'm not sure if we are waiting patiently on tires is my problem. I think maybe that we're just here. I'm not sure there's much left in those tires. These tires burn off quickly here at Charlotte's. You know, I'm just not sure there's any moves left to be made. I think maybe a lot of people spent up their tires getting where they are and may not be able to do anything with them.
An interesting point. Now, 10 minutes on the clock. 10 minutes. That leaves about 20 laps to work with here. Acosta right now doing everything he needed to do for points. Bradley Holly, that gap though going to be tricky for the rest of the way. That was a look, by the way, Doug Evans for a split second. But Holly is in position for the title if it stays the way it is. The more he drops this run though, if it stays green, the worse it can get. He is full focus mode.
I said I thought maybe they were done. Maybe they used up everything. But that last time out of 2, Daniel Knight went super hard. He tracked out very, very close to the wall and was trying to find some speed and some time on Bradley Holly. See if he does it again here. He's going to get down to the bottom. Let's watch how far this comes out to the wall. Not so much that time. Last time he got higher than Bradley Holly. But now here's the pass to the bottom.
Knight wants to go now. Narrow dead even on the gas inputs. Better rotation off for Daniel Knight. Run off for Holly gets restricted by the loose moment.
There you go. There's the pass. Got it made cleanly. Got in front of him. So that'll put him up to P2. And I believe it would be a season best run for Daniel Knight.
Yeah, this seems to be a good track for him. The same thing's happening, though, to Ted Lowendick. He's under attack by Thomas Sink. He looks to wrap the bottom in the 48. Able to keep it side by side at least.
Yeah, this side-by-side battle is really fun to see and something different from what we've seen all night. It's been mostly single file, so any kind of battle we can find like this is entertaining to watch here with the 72. Just trying to get the better run off of the corner and does so barely. And has a little bit of help behind and in front of him. So I would think Ted would pull away here, but Thomas Sink is not giving up.
Yeah, this is pretty clearly a fight amongst those not wanting to give up at all. Holly scraped the wall. Sink is clear. We are about 3-4 minutes away from the point of no return.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 minutes away from what would appear to be Bradley Holly officially basically named PRL Season 2 Grand National Champion. Bradley, of course, has won a few titles across his PRL career, many races, and had success. Now he's going to try to pass here Daniel Knight and get back to P2.
Oh, and now it's in the wall going Knight. Bradley Holly makes the pass. And now, with that mistake, Daniel Knight, similar to the first time, now dropping back. Problem is, this time he's got damage.
Yeah, and that damage will hurt him here because it's going to slow that car down a little bit. It's going to make it harder to turn possibly, and it will let people by him one by one. Here comes Lowen Dick under him. That's Colton Lane in the 60 right behind him. So both will try to make the pass here out of 4.
Yeah, that's going to hurt his top end speed and his cornering maneuverability now from here because Colton Lane seeing Knight in the wall again. Colton Lane looking for one of his best runs of the season. Knight doesn't want to back off.
And man, once you hit the wall once, it feels like that's sort of an open invitation to do it a couple more times and kind of get more frustrated in that moment when it does happen, because it feels like this, the first wall hit is the hardest, and it becomes easier and easier to do as the night goes on here for these drivers. What's Lowen Dick, Knight, Colton Lane, and Jeff Evans are the 4 you're looking at, with Reese Bogue back there for his 5 cars in this camera shot, all battling for this spot. That's basically 5th back through, 8th place at this point.
Another push, though, for Sink. This is one of his best runs in a while, actually. He used to be one of the winningest drivers in this time slot all throughout the 2010s. Now he's up to a race-high 2nd, one of the highest points all season he's ran.
Yeah, doing a great job here is Thomas Sink, and let's see, he can run to Abner Kotz. I mean, the difference here between this run and others is Abner only has a 1 second lead over this field, and I say only, Justin, because it's been 2+ at some points in this race.
Yeah. Well, before pit stops, it was 5. Yeah. But there's 5 minutes to go. And I don't know what's going to happen here, but Thomas Sink is not as quick on corner entry or exit. Bradley Holly, he's fallen off like a rolling stone.
Well, what I do know is going to happen here is either the checkered flag or the yellow flag. Whichever one comes out next will end this race. With us being less than 5 minutes to go, JP, there's no way I see us getting back going green again if the yellow comes out.
And with how it looks like Bradley Holly, still, despite all the sliding, will be a champion. Still looks like he's panicking a bit about the handling, though. He looks like he's up on the wheel.
Well, listen, with Abner getting bonus points for lap led, most laps led, and for the pole, that's 4 points to cut him lead. You have to be nervous about the handling, because if you lose this car right here, there's still enough cars on track that you could possibly lose your points lead here. This is not a foregone conclusion by any means that Bradley is the points champion.
They're looking and see what's happening. They'll communicate with the teams, though, to make sure, especially with Ted right behind. Jeff Evans is also on a charge with Knight falling back behind him. 4 minutes to go, 8 laps to work with. Holly getting loose, needs to make sure he doesn't bin it.
And then that would make, if I were Lowen Dick right behind him, that would make me nervous. I would not want to be behind Bradley Holly knowing he's getting loose all the time. Because if Holly gets loose and wrecks the car, the thing you don't want if you're Ted Lowen Dick is for him to wreck it into you.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit terrifying out there. Looking back again to Ted Lowen Dick. He's thinking at least to try and see, can he make a fight out of this? He will. Here's the run for 3rd.
There's Ted now going to get to the inside here. Going to try to find that preferred line. Sticks it almost the blue line, but doesn't have the tire left to keep it in the gas. And Bradley will clear him, I think, out of the corner.
He does. No troubles this time. 3 minutes to go, 6 laps to work with, give or take. Interesting enough, Thomas Sink is matching Acosta. If he had track position to start the run, he might be up there still with Acosta. It's been interesting how Thomas has been able to match long run.
Yeah, Thomas is having a great run here. Something very proud of. Something to build on for Season 3. If he is racing in Season 3, a moral victory of sorts.
Yeah. Right now, 1 second that distance. Under 2:30 to go. Jeff Evans is still on the move, though. He's looking to pass by another one-back car in the backdrop of this.
Yeah, trying to see what he can make happen. Look at that. Jeff Evans all the way in the bottom. In a moment in the race when we've seen a lot of cars have problems on the bottom of the track as far as sticking it and keeping gas pedal, Jeff Evans knows something that other people don't.
Under 2 minutes to work with under 4 minutes estimated on the laps. Take a look at the battle starting to heat up a bit. This is again for fourth in the bottom box. Bradley Hawley just a few laps away from another PRL championship.
Yep, add another trophy, another check mark, another everything to the case. Not another win, but another season win is most likely for Bradley Hawley.
He's a 15-time champion in this time slot. Under 90 seconds to go. He's on his way to what would add to the all-time championship lead, 23 titles. Can he do it again? He just needs to hold on for another minute.
Yep, 1 more minute of time's all that's left here. See Abner Acosta coming around here. About a minute on the clock, so next time by, Barney the flagman will put the white flag out, and Abner will be able to breathe a little easier. So Abner's going to win this race. That is an accomplishment to be proud of, but unfortunately he'll probably be overshadowed by not winning the title.
Came very close to it though, but side by side coming to the white flag pretty soon here. Ted Lowendick and Jeff Evans still side by side. Barney is throwing the white. It's the final time around for the PRL Grand National Series this season. Acosta on the way to victory. But Bradley Hawley is on the way to another championship. One of the winningest drivers in the history of any league. Bradley Hawley down the back straightaway for the final time will get to celebrate. He can let it coast for the title at least here for the 23rd time. Bradley Hawley is a PRL champion. Acosta picks up the dub, but it's Hawley who picks up the hardware in the Grand National Series.
You know, great run by Bradley Hawley, great run by Abner Acosta, and great run by everybody who helped keep this a fairly clean race.
And the legacy is added on to 16 Wednesday night titles alone. Bradley Hawley gets it done in the end. And he's being congratulated over the radio via race control. The celebration can be on in the next few moments as here comes Ted to congratulate him as well.
Yeah, great show of respect there by those two drivers on the same team. Now Brad will bring it around here and try and do a burnout here and celebrate.
So once again, your race win going the way of Abner Acosta. He's already burning it down on one side, but the championship burnout is the focus. There's the 5. But the 184 joined suit on the other side of the start and finish line. '26 PRL championships, rather 23 PRL championships, 16 of them on Wednesday night. And it comes through here this evening. You have to wonder how close is the drive to 25 as Acosta picks up the win. Sink and Hawley your top 3. Jeff Evans, Ted Lowendick the top 5. Lane, Bogue, Knight, Doug Evans, JC Evans the top 10. 11th spot tonight. That went the way this evening of Mark Kalin. Dalton Geyer finishes the last driver on the lead lap here from Charlotte. still seeing your top 10 on screen, but the DNFs were Morgan, Dean, and Zemke this evening. So as Bradley Holly finishes up the celebrations, Abner Acosta, he goes on to win in dominating fashion. Abner, you pick up the W. How are you feeling?
Feels good. I mean, really good long pace. You know, the track was in my favor with the tires wearing a lot. Everything went well.
Talk to us about the championship run here, because it seemed almost you had the vibe, at least from the onset, seemed of this is going to be fun, get experience at the car again. Then you go on to become a championship front runner. How would you describe the roller coaster ride?
I mean, the only thing I'm thinking about right now is me missing the pits in Darlington that made me lose like 16 points. And last week, the pit mistake with the tires, that would have been another like little 5 points. So like, just a lot of mistakes. I had a lot of bad races this season. I think I had like 3 really bad races plus the Darlington thing. And just like everything, you need to be good. You just need to be consistent and not have a lot of bad races. But overall, happy with my pace.
So what's the plan for season 3?
Not miss pit entries and just less mistakes and keep the pace, and then I should be fine.
Anyone want to give a shout out to?
I want to thank PRL, you guys for broadcasting. Grats to Brad and everybody else at Race this season. And yeah, that's it.
Abner Acosta picks up the win here tonight. He ends up finishing inside the top 3 for the championship, but your champion overall, he's with Derek Watson. It's Bradley Holly picking up another PRL title. It's title number 23.
Well, title number 23. That means you're sort of like, well, I guess you're more than a Ric Flair of PRL. You've got like 7 more titles than Ric Flair has in wrestling, but just one more to add. I started to say to the trophy case, but there's nowhere behind you to put another title, Brad.
Yeah, all the Legos are taking up all the space right now. So, good. It was a good season for me. I look back at probably, I think, Talladega. If I didn't make a bad block and cause a wreck, I think Abner would have won this championship. But that's how it worked this time, and I need to make better decisions on plate tracks next time.
So talk about the race tonight. Looked like you just had a hard time. You fought with Daniel Knight for a while. You fought with Ted Lowendick for a while. Looked like the track was just tough to make a pass at.
Yeah, for sure. It's just this track has always kind of fought me. I've never gotten a full grasp on it. So that first fuel run, basically, I killed the right front. I had nothing left, and figured out that I was turning in too early and made some adjustments and was able to keep pace a little bit better on after the caution and somewhat keep us third place. Just tough track.
Well, the theme tonight is sort of in interviews, as with every end of season, is to ask you the obvious question. But I know you're coming back. I don't have to ask. So that's a safe question, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That would be a bombshell if you said no. We'd have to stop the presses and everything, I think. Yeah,
I'm definitely not leaving PRL anytime soon. This is kind of like my ritual at this point, running Mondays and Wednesdays now. So I'm going to keep doing that and try to get better in all my oval stuff, and definitely try to get better when it comes to road. I look forward to next season.
Is there any chance we get a Bradley Holly sighting in the 86s or the MX-5s?
Nope. No. With all the endurance stuff coming up in the next month, I feel like my life would be in danger if I did any more racing because of my wife. She may get a little upset.
Trust me, I got the look during NERB. I understand exactly what you're talking about. Well, listen, great job tonight, and we'll see you next season.
Thank you very much.
Once again, that is Bradley Holly coming away with the championship here this season. Thomas Sink finished top 3 here tonight. Thomas, how are you feeling about the top 3?
I'm feeling awesome about it. It was a hell of a fight. I don't think I've been this sweaty in a while. I drove. I gave it everything I had. There was nothing left at that. If it would have went 2 more laps, I would have been in trouble.
Yeah, I was about to say, you had a chance for the race lead. That seemed to be one of your strongest races in a while. We've seen you do some good things as well. Picked up some sponsorship along the way this season too. What was the race like to be able to survive the long run type of race like tonight?
It was typical tire saving event. I ran the first run saving, knowing that we were going to pit around 50 something, and then when Abner and I think a few other guys decided they were going to pit at 50, I had to seize the opportunity. So I knew Mark was on a opposite kind of strategy. I wanted to see what he was going to come up with it, and it worked out with him. So I'm happy for the run he had. But when that caution came out, I thought, oh man, we're doomed now. I think there's going to be some bumping and banging, but it actually turned out to be probably the best case scenario for me. I got out of the pits, had probably the best pit stop I've had all year, and got up there in third and just kind of followed Abner and the other guys and kind of traded some paint there a little bit. And all of a sudden they started falling off, and I was like, I might actually have a chance at Abner. So I just started giving it everything I had with like 15 minutes left there. And I was like just a little too short of trying to get going.
Now, just got the championship confirmations for the Grand National Series. Your team side for Wedeback, for the TNT side, did finish 42 points back of Overdrive. But what's the plan to get the extra 42 points and shuffle the difference to Overdrive?
Man, I need to stop being just terrible every week. I have to stop getting in wrecks. I need to kind of get away from some of those mid-pack people and just have more strong runs. Go back to running kind of how I was a few years ago. Get free and be able just to run my own race and not worry about what some of the other guys are doing.
Any shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Absolutely. Grind's coffee pouches. You guys are looking for some like energy supplements, hit them up. They're good for first responders and military. Wedeback Racing, without those guys, I don't know where I'd be right now. They're my best friends. They're great teammates, and we all just have a blast together. Miracle Flow, make sure all my teammates have a good flow when they're racing. Trading paints in the morning 5. And then thank you guys. Congratulations to Brad. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Once again, it's Thomas Sink coming away with the top 3 here tonight. And you know how close the point cutoff went with the drop-off at the very end for Holly? 3 points, believe it or not, Derek, was the difference.
I know it was going to be close. Abner will ponder how to earn those 3 points all off-season long.
But with that, remember, to be able to sign up, go to PrecisionRacingLeague.com. Sign-ups are open if you want to join the racers you just seen here tonight in the PRL. But it's time to say goodbye here for this season. For everyone here on the broadcast, for Nick Hunter, for Josh Lee, our producer, for my co-announcer, Derek Watson, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening. You've been watching the PRL's Truck and Grand National Series Championship finales for 2024 Season 2. We'll see you next season in 2024 Season 3.
Ready to start another great race in the Precision Racing League. Green flag flies, we're underway. Side by side, door to door contact. Incredible action here in the PRL. After all the fighting, it ends in tears.